More and more of you arriving all the time. If you have recently arrived, welcome to Utilita Bowl this Sunday morning for our Vitality Blast. Men's and women's double header between Hampshire Hawks and Somerset. Our women's game is around 10 minutes away. Somerset won the toss and chose to bat. On screen, let's confirm the two teams for that fixture, starting with our visitors, Somerset. Represented by number 18, Bex Odgers. Number 27, Neve Holland. Number 35, Fran Wilson. Number 63, Sophie Love. 22 is Jess Hazel. Number 25, Alex Griffiths. Wearing 10, Amanda J. Wallington. Number 20, Chloe Stilton. 14, Molly Robbins. Number 95, Olivia Barnes. Number 16, Erin Wilkinson. And now lining up today for Hampshire Hawks. Wearing 17, Rihanna Southby. Making her home debut from Australia, number 18, Elise Perry. Number 6, Freya Kemp. The Hawks captain, number 1, Georgia Adams. Wearing 12, Abby Norgrove. Number 11, Naomi Tatani. Wearing 9, Mary Taylor. Number 3, Megan Sturge. Wearing 61, it's Freya Davis. Number 15, Daisy Gibb. And 35, Bex Tyson. The on-field umpires for our women's fixture are Rose Dovey and Ian Blackwell. Match referee is Sarah Butlett. And the scorers are Caroline Green and Richard Isaacs. Somerset won the toss and chose to bat.
Are you gonna let it go? When your eyes Well, a very good morning from the Utilita Bowl, where we have a T20 doubleheader here. Later on, the Somerset men will be visiting the ground and they will be taking on the Hampshire men, but it's the women that take centre stage in a few minutes' time, where Hampshire are taking on also Somerset. Now I can tell you that Somerset have won the toss. They are going to bat first. Your commentary team for the first half of this women's game is myself, Kevin James, and from BBC Somerset, it is Anthony Gibson. Anthony, very good morning.
Good morning to you, Kevin. It's a great pleasure to be here at the Utilita Bowl, as always.
He's saying that with a smirk on his face. Anthony does love this ground, really. He just likes to sort of make out that it's inferior.
No, you can't say this is inferior. It's massive.
No, it
absolutely
is
massive.
Yeah. And I have to say, it's a crowd that is dotted around, but if you put them all in one place, I think we've got a few hundred here, which is very, very nice. Now, this is 4th against 8th. Hampshire have played 9, won 4, lost 5, whereas Somerset have played 8. And Anthony, well, I'll save you the embarrassment. I will say it myself. They have lost 7. It would have been 8.
It would have been 8.
But the game against the Blaze was abandoned. And let's be honest, the Blaze are one of the better sides in this table. So I think... Yeah,
I think we dodged a bullet there, yeah. Absolutely.
Right, now, happy to say that both sides are unchanged, which means both me and Anthony have had to do little extra work in preparation for this game. Do you want to go through your side, Anthony?
I will, because Somerset have won the toss and will bat, and they will bat Bex Odgers, Niamh Holland, Fran Wilson, Captain Sophie Luff, Alex Griffiths, Amanda Jade Wellington, Jess Hazel, Chloe Skelton, Molly Robbins, Olivia Barnes and Erin Vukusic.
The Croatian.
The Croatian, yes. She didn't take any wickets against Durham, but she bowled her 4 overs for just 29, and I wasn't up there, but evidently was very impressive.
OK, so Hampshire are unchanged from the side that lost to the Blaze up at Chesterfield on Friday. I was up there, travelled all the way up in the morning, travelled all the way back in the evening and watched Hampshire lose. But hey, they lost by 37 in that one. So Hampshire are Rhianna Southby and Elise Perry, the Australian all-rounder who made her debut in that game on Friday. Ironically, took a wicket with her first ball, and the first ball when she was batting went for a boundary as well, so she made a decent impression. Freya Kemp will come in at 3, Captain Georgia Adams at 4, Abby Norgrove, Naomi Datani, Mary Taylor, Megan Sturge, who made a professional debut in that game as well 2 days ago, Freya Davies, Daisy Gibb and Rebecca Tyson. There is no Maya Boucher in the side. She was called up by England the other night against India. She didn't actually play, but I'm assuming that she's still in that bubble, so she's not available here this morning. So a game that's quite important for Hampshire, maybe less so for Somerset, because I'm not sure they're in a position to be able to qualify. I mean,
no, but they badly want to win,
yeah.
And I badly want them to win for the sake of the girls who've been trying so hard, but they're relatively inexperienced side.
Good morning, welcome
and their more experienced players are probably more suited to 50 over cricket than 20 over cricket. Players like Fran Wilson and Sophie Luff.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's not good for the competition, let's be honest. I mean, I have to say, on paper, at the start of the year, I thought Somerset might have been, you know, sort of in amongst the teams, but I think it's quite clear that Surrey, the Blaze and probably Warwickshire are the 3 strongest out of the 8 teams, and they will probably be contesting finals day at the end of the month.
Somerset have been very unlucky with injuries. Bear in mind they're without Heather Knight, who's got a prolonged hamstring problem, Danny Gibson, Emma Corney, and for this game they're without Charlie Dean, who's been called up for England duty. So if it was a full strength Somerset women's team, then I think they could compete quite comfortably and might be, you know, mid-table somewhere around there. I don't think they'd be challenging the likes of Surrey and the Blaze, but they would certainly be mid-table.
No, I think you're
right.
But
you know, add those injury problems onto an inexperienced squad and you get the sort of results that we've been getting.
Well, these two met just over 2 weeks ago at Taunton. Hampshire narrowly won that game by 5 runs. They scored 169 for 6. Somerset finishing on 164 for 6. So it was a close game. Charlie Dean did play in that one, but Hampshire also had Maya Boucher. They also had Ella McCacken, who was still injured, who was taking the tournament by storm when she was injured. She was the top run scorer at that time. So I think she's still a game or so away from being fit, from what I am told, but she leaves a bit of a gap at the top, which has been filled by Elise Perry. Looking forward to seeing more of her. So yes, top of the group is Surrey, who with 31 points from 8 matches played, are then followed by the Blaze, who have 29. They played 1 game more. Then the Bears, Warwickshire, on 28. So the top 3 teams basically are the 3 probably best teams, and then it's Hampshire, Lancashire, and maybe Essex, maybe even Durham trying to contest getting up to 3rd, but I think that looks a tall order. Right, it's going to be Daisy Gibb with her right arm seamers from the pavilion end, and she's coming in, and that's immediately cut away. It's going through backward of point, and there is 4 runs off the bat of, is that Rebecca Odgers?
Bex Odgers, yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca Odgers.
Good start. First delivery.
Yeah, nice shot. Wasn't a very good ball, short and wide.
It certainly wasn't. Daisy Gibb, 19 years of age, who's been making her senior debut this year in the competition.
Did she make her debut at Taunton?
In the T20, she played the 50 overs before that. I'll have a look, actually, I'll tell you in a minute, as she's running in again and bowls to Odgers. Full outside the off stump, and it's wide. Yeah, No, she's played all the games.
Right.
And she played 2 50 over games, and she's played in all of the T20s, but didn't play in the T20 Cup against Surrey, where Hampshire were on the receiving end of another large Surrey score in that 3rd round contest. There's a lovely drive from Odgers, but finds Ditani out in the covers. When the music's on, it's very loud out there, and when the music's off, it's very quiet. So I'm going to try and find a happy medium for you, those of you that are listening and watching. We're on the BBC Sport website and app. We're also on Sports Extra 3 for this game. At the end of this game, Sports Extra 3 listeners will go to the Formula 1, the British Grand Prix. So no need to re-dial if they are listening via that medium. We're also on the live picture feed as Gibb comes in and bowls. Odgers swings away outside the off stump and misses, goes through to keeper Southby. The pictures on the Hampshire Cricket website, they are beamed on to the Somerset Cricket website as well. So you can watch, listen, sit back, enjoy your Sunday. 2 games of cricket here at the Utilita. And I tell you what, this is not a bad crowd.
No, it's building up nicely, isn't it?
Yes, it's all right, actually. A few people wearing yellow in the crowd, which is nice to see. Obviously, Hampshire fans. I'll tell you what I saw last night when we were down at Hove, and I'd forgotten about these. As Gibb bowls, Odgers drives on the up to backward a point. They want the single, but Abby Norgrove is cutting that one off. You know those hairy hats?
Yes,
T20 of
yes,
a year or 2 ago?
Yep.
I'd forgotten about it because apparently they've stopped selling them. But Sussex apparently have carried on. And there was these lovely blue hairy hats. And I thought, oh yes, I remember them. And there was quite a few of them as well last night. Yeah, quite enjoyed looking at them. I used to love them. I didn't wear one, but I used to love them. Here's Gibb bowls and Odgers drives powerfully up to mid-on. But again, she's picked out the fielder.
Yes, I've still got my my pink bucket hat from the final in 2023, which Somerset won, of course.
Oh, right.
Which I wear for playing golf.
No.
I do.
You play golf in a bucket hat?
I do. It's not much approved of, but
You surprised me. I thought the golf club that you played at would never allow that sort of thing. As Gibbon again, Odgers drive. She's picked out mid-off this time. That's the end of the first over, and Somerset, having won the toss and decided to bat first, are 5 with that loss.
What's par here for women's game?
Well, I will tell you what's happened this year, and we'll try and work it out. So the first game here against Essex, well, Hampshire scored over 200. So that is quite unusual. In fact, I think that's the highest, 215. I think at the time, it might still hold, it was the highest women's score here in a T20 game. The game, we played at Arundel. This is only the third game. The game against Surrey, Hampshire got 155. Surrey overtook that, literally off the last ball. So, just going on that. Maybe
it's quite short boundaries, aren't they? I mean, the ropes in, the pitch is away to the western side of the ground.
Yeah.
Here's Rebecca Tyson to bowl to Niamh Holland, who doesn't get hold of this, tries to swing it down to long leg. We've got 4 saving 1 on the offside, 3 on the onside, and 2 out at deep mid wicket and deep cover, so pretty conventional field. As Tyson is in with a slow left arm, and this is played into the onside, and there won't be a run. Elise Perry fielding that. First time I've seen Elise Perry. Looking forward to seeing her bat and bowl. Tyson in bowls, and this again is an attempted swing down to long leg, and the ball was there for it on or outside leg stump, but Niamh Holland didn't get hold of it. Niamh Holland, who made 64 in the game between these two sides at Taunton. Again, this time she does get hold of it, and that will bring her 4 runs. It wasn't a very good ball from Bex Tyson. It was a drag down, let's say, on or outside leg stump. She had all the time in the world to swing that away down to long leg. 10 without loss, Somerset.
Yeah, she's missed a couple of games when Lindsay Smith has been playing, but of course Lindsay Smith currently involved in the white ball series against India.
Tyson in bowls, and again this is short, and Holland doesn't get hold of this and plays it up to mid-on where Freya Davies fields. It's overcast here at Botley, just north of Southampton, but it's quite warm, pleasant conditions for playing and watching cricket. Tyson bowls another short ball, and it's driven back to her, and it's a caught. Oh, she's dropped it. She's dropped it. Oh, dear. I thought she had it firmly in her grasp. It was a relatively straightforward caught and bowl, and Niamh Holland was in the process of walking off when down the ball went. Tyson again bowls, and this time it's a much better ball, and played defensively by Niamh Holland, who has had a life. End of the second over, 10 without loss, 4 to Odgers and 4 to Holland.
Yeah, that was a straightforward catch. You know what, it's quite interesting actually, because Bex Tyson does get a lot of balls coming back at her, and a lot of them are in the air, and she is, I'm not sure if she's 50-50 in terms of whether she catches it or whether she puts it down. But I saw a very interesting exercise that the coaches, here is Elise Perry, you're going to get to see her for the first time here, Anthony. They did a very interesting exercise when we played up at the Bears a few weeks ago in a T20 game. On this side of the pitch, they had Bex Tyson before the game bowling, and one of the coaches was behind the stumps taking the ball, and another coach was in front of the stumps with a tennis racket, and as soon as the ball went past the stumps, this other coach hit the ball back at her. I've never seen that before, but it was specific to Bex Tyson. They were practicing things like that. So here's Elise Perry then, right arm, medium pace, let's cut away. The first ball's going for 4 here. Odgers likes that shot behind square on the offside.
Well, she's being fed it at the moment.
She certainly has, yeah. So Elise Perry, who picked up a wicket with her very first ball up at Chesterfield, with a caught behind, has found her first ball here, hit towards the boundary. Yes, we're all very excited about Elise Perry. She's around for the month of July only. She'll play 6 T20s, so she's down to 5 T20s including today. She'll play 250 over games, 155 one-day internationals and 168 T20 internationals for Australia. That's quite a few. As she comes in again and bowls, it's down the leg side this time. That's well stopped by Bex Tyson. She was right in the right position there, otherwise that might have been another boundary. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I'd never seen that exercise before. And I think you've probably seen why. They've been working on Bex Tyson's fielding off her own bowling.
She seemed actually to have caught it.
Yeah, I think she snatched it a bit, didn't she?
And then she caught it and then dropped it. Very strange.
Seemed harder to drop, didn't it, really?
Yeah.
14 without loss. We're in the third over here as Perry from the pavilion end bowls again, and that's whacked away, and it's gone past Bex Tyson this time, and that's going to be 4 runs. That's a little bit middle and leggish there from Elise Perry. And she's now bowled 3 balls, and 2 of those have gone to the boundary.
She's got a very nice action at the crease, and she really whips her arm through and uses the body to get in the ideal position.
She does. Yeah, she uses her height, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's a very easy action. You can see why she's done so well over a number of years. She's 34 years of age now. She comes in from just inside the 25-yard circle and bowls again, and that's hit back past her. That's going for 4. Oh, Otters has joined herself out here. That's another boundary.
No respecter of reputations.
I agree. Elise Perry who? If the ball's in the area to hit, just hit it, especially with the fielding restrictions as well. That's a pretty safe shot, as long as you get it up over the bowler, which she did just. Just gone to Elise Perry's right hand. Just a little too high. 22 without loss. Good start for Somerset here. 2 balls left of over number 3. And I'll repeat again, this is a good crowd for an early part of a women's game on T20 double header here, as that's turned away behind square on the leg side. 23 without loss.
First time they've changed ends. Looks a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, I think I didn't get a chance to speak to Simon, the grounds person here this morning, but I think we're in an area where the hybrid pitches are around. I've got a feeling it is a pitch that has been used. Well, it looks like it's a pitch that's been used, but I'm thinking one of the early T20s here, where there was quite a few runs scored. So expect more of the same. I'll try and get a chat with Simon in between games. But
formerly of Somerset, of course.
Yes, Simon Lee. Yes, he was.
He was the one responsible for all those turning pitches on which Somerset won so many games of cricket.
Yes. Perry, it's come across the stumps, hits the pad of Holland, end of the over. Perry's first over has gone for 13. Somerset 23 without loss.
Yeah, high tariff shot that Niamh Holland attempted there, leaving all 3 of her stumps exposed. Fortunately, she got something in the way of it. It's cloudy but warm, and there was showers on the way over this morning from Somerset, but nothing too serious. And I don't think that we've had any rain here, judging by the surrounds. Freya Davis then is going to bowl from this hotel end. 29 years old, born in Chichester. Played for Western Storm, as did a good few of the Somerset women. She's in to bowl to Odgers, who turns this into the onside for a single, as the throw comes in from Freya Kemp. 24 without loss, Somerset in the 4th over. They'll be desperate to break this run of losses, Somerset.
It's quite weird, isn't it, really? I mean, batting-wise, it hasn't gone quite well, has it?
No, they haven't really got the firepower. She's in and bowls, and this is turned into the onside by Niamh Holland for a single, fielded by Elise Perry. 25 without loss. I think it's boundaries are fairly short. Looks like a good pitch. I think Somerset are going to need something like 180, something like that, if they're going to defend it against a strong Hampshire batting side. She's in bowls, and this is up in the air, should be caught, and is indeed caught by Georgia Adams, the Hampshire captain, And that is the end of Beck's Odgers, caught by Adams off the... she's gone for 18 for bowling with Freya Davies.
Yeah, she looked like in two minds there. Looked like she wanted to hit over the top, and then at the last minute thought, no, I'm not. And in the end, she's just spooned it up to mid-off without a real sort of full flow of the bat. Makes you wonder and think that if she had gone through with the shot, that would have cleared Georgia Adams by quite some distance, but she just sort of held back on the shot, really. Simple catch for Georgia Adams.
Somerset's leading scorer gone. Beck's Odgers. She's been averaging just over 20, which is third in the batting averages. Fran Wilson is the new batter.
Plenty of experience there.
Yep, she's 33 now. 64 England caps.
She's been around a while, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Freya Davies sets wicket number 11 for her in this year's competition, so she goes ahead of Rebecca Tyson, who was tying in the Hampshire lineup with 10 as well.
She's bowling to Fran Wilson in bowls a Yorker, or very full length delivery, into Wilson's pads. Looks to turn it through mid-wicket, doesn't get any bat on it. Got the very similar field to Bex Tyson with a slow left arm.
She hasn't quite got going in this year's competition, has she, Fran Wilson, yet?
Davies in bowls and Wilson drives straight, and it's not cut off from, and that's going to go for 4. Nothing that Bex Tyson could do about that. That was well struck, and it's a fast outfield. Outfield actually is looking a little bit tired. See the where the drainage channels are, and some bearish patches. 29 for 1 in the 4th over.
That was nicely timed, wasn't it?
It was.
Beautiful shot.
She's a stroke maker rather than a hitter, Fran Wilson. Here comes Davies again. Last ball of the over. She's in and bowls to Wilson, who turns that comfortably into the onside. It'll just be a single. End of the over. 30 for 1. 4 overs have gone.
Still a good start despite that wicket of Odgers. Interesting in the pre-match brief chats with both captains how I think Georgia Adams, if I remember correctly, said that she would have been quite happy having a bowl first. There is forecast maybe the odd shower. We might get lucky and miss it. That happens sometimes, and then sometimes when we think the showers are going to miss us, we get a couple. So it's a bit hit and miss. We think we're all right for the moment. It might be all right for a while, actually.
The showers I drove through this morning probably weren't heavy enough to have stopped play anyway.
Good. Oh, that's good news. Yeah, so interesting that Georgia Adams said she would have fielded, and of course Sophie Luff had the option to do what she wanted to do and decided to bat. And I think she also said about the maybe the overheads. Quite happy to bat first. Daisy Gibb is back into the attack. Right arm, medium, quick, and tries to cut that one away. Does Wilson, misses it. Goes through to Southby. The score remains on 30 for 1, and a few people are turning up all the time here, swelling the crowd. I think they're expecting about 6,000 as a minimum for this afternoon's game, and as often happens here, quite a few people do turn up and watch a large chunk of the women's game. I think they're quite lucky here with the way things are. Well, maybe not so much lucky, but that's a cutaway by Wilson. Not really timed. Tyson doesn't pick the ball up cleanly at short third. Swept up by Abby Norgrove just behind point. 31 for 1. I think that's what's been really good here, is that most of the crowd will watch a fair chunk of the women's game. That's been a feature certainly this year.
Do you have women-only membership?
I don't know. If I'm honest, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But there has been, or there is some standalone women's fixtures coming up. As that's driven out into the covers, fielded by Datani. They'll take a single. Good fielding from the Hampshire all-rounder. 32 for 1. Holland goes on to 6 from 9. It's Wilson to face.
Yeah, we do at Somerset, but it doesn't work for double headers. Because it's cheaper than the men's membership, and obviously if you come in for the women's game and stay on for the men's one, you're getting an advantage.
It's a hit out. She's found the gap. Now there's a chase on for Abby Norgrove. Datani is in behind her. Norgrove doesn't use Datani. She's decided she's going to do all the fielding herself, and the ball gets thrown back, and Somerset move on to 34 for 1, and we are in the 5th over here. Remember, it's 4th against 8th. Top 3 qualify for the finals day at the Oval later on this month. Those 3 places occupied currently by Surrey, Blaze and the Bears. And if I'm honest, they are the best 3 teams. Here's Gibb. Oh, she's not let the ball go. It's bounced. It's 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 bounces through to Rihanna Southby. It's a no ball. She's trying to bowl a bouncer there, and it's got stuck in her hand.
So what's going to be the format on finals day if there are only 3 teams going through to it?
So you get second place, third, and then they play for the right to play the group winners in the final. Yeah, 3
So
hits.
you only get 2 games on finals day as opposed to 3 in the men's final.
Yeah. Whereas the cup, the Women's County Cup, earlier on this season, was a 4-team event down at your place.
Yeah.
35 for 1. Right, free hit here as Gibb comes in and bowls. It's full, it's driven up to mid-off, and it's a dot ball. Good comeback from Daisy Gibb. Much appreciated by the crowd as well. Which I have to say, as a homegrown lad, well, not a homegrown lad, I wasn't born here, but has obviously lived quite a bit of my life now, don't I? To see lots of people in yellow, it's quite heartwarming. Always brings a tear to my eye, Anthony.
Well, there are 1 or 2 here in maroon as well. Black and maroon and white.
What, the umpires?
No, the umpires are in the colours of the sponsor.
Here's Gibb. That's hit away into the gap on the offside by Wilson. She'll only pick up a single as Datani's patrolling that boundary away to our right. 36 for 1. You're in maroon as well, Anthony, or close as you could probably get.
I tell you what, one of those umpires is barely recognisable from when he was a cricketer.
Yes.
Ian Blackwell, hasn't he lost some weight?
Well, he was here last week for the championship game, and I honestly didn't recognise him.
Yeah.
When I was up at the far end of the pavilion, and he came past and shook my hand. I thought, who's this? You're right, he looks a totally different man.
He must have lost 3 stone, I think. Freya Davis going to bowl another over from this hotel end. She's bowling to Fran Wilson, who's on 9. 36 for 1 after 5. Bowling right arm medium pace. She's in and bowls a full toss, which is driven up and straight between the legs of fielder at
Mary Taylor.
Mary Taylor.
Ooh, she just took her eye off the ball there. We saw the batters taking a quick single to her. It's quite easily done. Just at the last minute, you look up, and that's when the ball goes through the hands. Through the hands, through the legs.
36 for 1. 4 bonus runs there. Shouldn't really have been a run at all. There's Davies in bowls, and this is lofted down the ground. Good, hard, straight hit from Fran Wilson. Successive boundaries. That was in the slot. Pretty much a half volley. 44 for 1. Wilson on to 17 from 11.
Well, she looks in good nick. I know she hasn't been in great nick, but on today's showing, she's playing very freely, timing the ball nicely.
Fran Wilson has 103 runs in 7 innings, only averaging 14.7.
Yeah.
With a best of just 31, but she started well, and the sun's trying to break through. As Davies is in and bowls, and she misses out here, Fran Wilson. It's a wide down the leg side, but with fine leg up inside the fielding circle, that was 4 runs gone begging. Good start this by Somerset.
It is, yeah, it is a good one, yeah.
Going along at best part of 9 runs and over. On course for something like 180. Davies in bowls, and this is driven down to Georgia Adams, landing about 5 yards short of her, fielded on the bounce. Thought for a moment might be another catch, but she's right back on the edge of the fielding circle is Georgia Adams. Freya Davies with a blonde ponytail in bowls, and Fran Wilson comes across her stumps and ramps it behind the wicketkeeper. That I think will go for 4. It does indeed. Very short, straight boundaries here at the Utilita Bowl, with the boundary rope where it is. 49 for 1. Fran Wilson on to 21. 3 boundaries in the over.
I know, putting Hampshire under pressure here. Yeah, that's come off the top edge actually. It's gone almost over first slip, but got a lot of bat on it, even though it was an edge. Georgia Adams having a chat with Freya Davies here. Difficult, of course, when you're in the power play with just the 2 fielders allowed on the boundary. It's knowing where to place those 2 fielders. At the moment, we've got a deep square leg and a deep cover.
Freya Davies in bowls, and this is swung away through the onside, but it'll be fielded out in the deep by Freya Kemp. And they take the single, and that's the Somerset 50 on the board. 50 for 1, with 1 ball remaining of the power play, and I think Somerset would probably have settled for that if you'd offered them at the start. Freya Davies past umpire Blackwell, and slower ball, which is turned into the onside, and a little bit slow setting off there, but they get home safely enough. So that's the power play done and dusted. 51 for 1. 22 to Fran Wilson, 6 to Niamh Holland. Good start.
Certainly is. Well, there's a few fixtures going on today in the Vitality Blast Women's Group 1. There is a delayed start to the Blaze against Durham. But also today, Surrey are taking on Essex at the Oval, Lancashire taking on the Bears at Old Trafford. Follow all those matches on the BBC Sport website and app. I guess there will also be commentary. The ones where there's double headers will be on the BBC. Where there isn't, there'll be live picture feed commentaries on those as well. Here we're on the picture feed, we're also on the BBC Sport website and app, we're also on Sports Extra 3. Rebecca Tyson will switch ends, bowls from the pavilion end. She's bowling to Niamh Holland. Holland sweeps that away, and that will go for 4. Nice looking shot there out of the middle of the bat. It was around middle and leg. Holland's played that perfectly.
She hasn't had much of the strike. That's only the 11th delivery she has faced out of the 31 that have been bowled. No, 37 that have been bowled.
She's been shielded.
Well, no.
I
don't think she needs shielding.
Well,
she got 64 against Hampshire at Taunton.
She's played very well. Tyson bowls, and there's another sweep shot. Yeah, that is, yeah. It's played even harder, actually. That might not be the line to be bowling to Niamh Holland. It might require a slightly different line of attack. I'm just looking at Georgia Adams to see if she's going to come over and have a chat. Not sure she is. Maybe she's thinking about it. But that's around sort of leg stump, might even just be a fraction outside leg stump, that one. Georgia Adams has got her hands up. She's just going to move fielder a little finer. That is, who's that out there? Megan Sturge, who's playing just her 2nd game for Hampshire. Played at Chesterfield 2 days ago, her debut. That's driven up towards mid-on by Holland. She moves on to 15, 60 for 1. So we're outside the power play now, so we can have more fielders patrolling the boundary. We've got 2 at the top end, and we've got a couple of others on the leg side, so 4 4 out, 5 in. Brings Frank Wilson back on strike. Tyson around the wicket again, bowls. There's another sweep shot, and that's gone fine, and hasn't gone past Mary Taylor. She just picks it up, gets slow, throws it in, just the one. And the total moves on to 61 for 1. Yes, a very fine start here by Somerset, who have struggled a bit in this competition. Maybe today is the day. Here's Tyson, bowls, cuts and bowled. Oh, she's missed out there, Niamh Holland. I think almost she was probably thinking, I can smash this away to the boundary. It was so short that in the end she's missed it. And that's,
she's furious with herself.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, I mean, you'd expect her to smash that away on the offside 49 times out of 50, and inexplicably on this occasion, she's just missed it and it's hit the top of the stumps. She goes for 15, yeah. 61 for 2.
Fairly gentle delivery, which was short of a length, and she was playing the right shot, just didn't execute as she wanted. This brings Somerset's captain, Sophie Luff, to the crease.
Well, Freya Davies and Rebecca Tyson are vying with each other to be Hampshire's top wicket taker. They're now both on 11, ahead of streets ahead of the others. But yeah, I mean, do you know, it's a bit like when you're in the field as well. You just take your eye off the ball at the last moment, you find yourself making a mistake, and Niamh Holland's done there. She's right back in the crease, trying to hit that away on the offside, and she would have been really surprised that she's missed that, and it's not actually hit the bat.
Yeah, Bex Tyson, 10 wickets at 22.3. Economy of 8.6. And she's bowled a bit of licorice all sorts, really. 1 or 2 good deliveries, but 1 or 2 pretty rank ones as well. Good name for a bowler, though.
Tyson, yes, it is, yeah. Not quite as quick. She's in again. That's turned away on the leg side. They wanted a single. Luff wanted a single. No, said Wilson. And that's the end of the over. Rebecca Tyson, 2 overs, 1 for 15. And Freya Davies, who might not bowl another over, but has bowled 2 so far, has 1 for 21.
Yeah, it's an important stage of the innings, this, for Somerset. They've tended to lose momentum in the middle overs in the games they've played so far. Sophie Luff and Fran Wilson are stroke makers rather than hitters, and they'll need to keep the scoreboard ticking over so that they don't leave too much for the likes of Amanda Jade Wellington and Alex Griffiths to do in the last 5 or 6 overs.
You know, having seen Amanda Jade Wellington play, well, certainly down at Taunton, and seen her play a few times for Western Storm, I'm surprised she doesn't open the batting, you know, with the field up.
Well, I've put this to Trevor Griffin, the coach, that she ought to be batting higher, but he's insistent that that's where he wants her to be the finisher. Here's Mary Taylor in and bowls, and this is cut away through the offside, and just be a single as the throw comes in. Not a very good throw, but well tidied up by Rihanna Southby. 62 for 2. I had a chat with Jamie Cox, the Somerset chief executive, about it down in Taunton, and he said she should be batting higher, but sticking to their plans. Here's Mary Taylor, right arm over the wicket, in and bowls, and this is just pushed up wide of mid-off by Sophie Luff, and singles taken, 63 for 2.
I suppose there are signs that a win's not too far away, because even though Somerset are looking for their first victory, the last couple of games lost by 5 to Hampshire and lost 5 runs, and lost by 6 runs to Durham.
Yeah, to Durham.
It's getting close, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Here's Taylor into Wilson, full pitch delivery, and they will take a single as Georgia Adams came across from extra cover, couldn't stop it cleanly. Comfortable singles taken. 64 for 2. One of the unusual things about the Somerset women's team is that there are no left-handers. Mary Taylor in and bowls, and this is played back to her. And I don't think I've come across a cricket team, either a men's team or a women's team, that hasn't had a left-hander in it.
It's unusual, isn't it?
It's very unusual. Something like 30% of first-class cricketers are left-handers.
Okay.
Something like 10% of the population are left-handers. As Mary Taylor is in and bowls. Again, this is a full-length delivery, which is driven up to long off for a single to Freya Davies, which suggests that left-handed cricketers have a natural inbuilt advantage. Kevin James.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure I felt like that most of the time. But yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it breaks up. I mean, it does break up the line of a bowler and unsettles them. So if you haven't got that, then maybe you are missing out a little bit.
65 for 2. As Taylor is in and bowls, and that's just paddled down to a reverse paddle down to a very fine third by Sophie Luff. Nicely played.
Perfect shot there. Couldn't play that any better. Yeah, just going back. I mean, it's been hard for Somerset in this competition. Of course it has. But when you look at the first 3 games, there were hefty defeats, weren't they? 8 wickets at Taunton to Surrey, 65 runs to Essex at Chelmsford, 69 runs to Warwickshire at Edgbaston. But since then, the defeats have been getting narrower and narrower. So there's clearly signs of improvement. Perry back into the attack. She's had just the 1 over so far. Australian, who's with Hampshire for the month of July, taking over from Charlie Knott, who's had 2 seasons here, one with the Vipers last year and one with Hampshire this year. First half of the season's up until the 100. She's been successful both times. Certainly missed it. When you think about Hampshire's success so far has been built around their top 3, McCacken, Boucher and Charlie Knott, all now missing for various reasons. It does put a bit of pressure on, but at least Perry, you would hope for this month, will plug that gap. As he is with the ball, it's a length ball, good ball to Sophie Luff, who's in behind that one. 69 for 2. The clouds are quite dark ahead, but it's all right. It doesn't look as though we're going to get any rain imminently, which is good news. I think actually if we are going to get any rain, it's going to be more the first half of the day than the second. So we get through this, we should be all right. I might just check my app on that because I haven't looked for a little while. Oh, there might be a shower too this afternoon, but other than that, we should be all right. Luff just nudges that one in front of square on the offside. In comes Daisy Gibb, and Somerset move on to 70 for 2.
Looking through our tinted glass, it looks like there are thunderclouds over the Utilita Bowl.
It does. It makes those dark clouds look even darker,
yes.
Even more menacing.
Purplish.
That's right. Yes, we're behind glass here finally. No more harsh sun shining into our commentary area on the gantry, which I know will please Anthony, because I think it was one of the hottest days ever about 2 years ago here.
We've had one of the hottest days here and also one of the coldest.
That's right, yes. I think we were both cooking on gas one of those days. Here's Perry, comes down the wicket. It's quite wide of off stump, signalled wide by the umpire.
The umpire is Rose Dovey. It's a new name to me. I haven't seen Rose Dovey umpiring before.
Quite a diminutive figure at the far end, doesn't she, really? But yeah, I think she's done 1 or 2 Hampshire games this year. Ian Blackwell. Actually, she makes Ian Blackwell look big again. even
Tall.
Even though he's about a third of the size he used to be. As Wilson hits that away into the cover area, deep cover. Abby Norgrove in off the rope. 72 for 2. I'm trying to estimate the crowd here. You're probably better at this than me. I'm going to estimate close to 2,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Which is fabulous. I think the first game here, which was a double header against Essex, I think off the top of my head, the women's crowd was calculated at 3,500, something like that. That's turned away fine, and she's half stopped it as Mary Taylor. She certainly stopped it from going to the boundary, but she'll have to pick herself up and run after it once more. 2 runs are claimed. Good throw right over the top of the stumps. Applauded by Rhiannon Southby as the ball landed into her gloves. And Somerset move on to 74 for 2, which I have to say is a really good effort. You know, it really is. I've been going around the country with some women's games, and yeah, the crowds are of various sizes, let's put it that way. Even
get good crowds at Somerset.
Yes, you do. You always get good crowds there.
Yep.
Here's Perry bowls. That's just turned away down to short third. Tyson fields. Yes, there's nothing wrong with the Taunton ground, really, Anthony, is there?
No. Well, it's very different to a stadium ground like this one. Yeah. It's a county ground.
It is.
And it benefits from being right in the town centre and with lovely views all around.
It does. Oh, it is nice. Here's Perry, right arm over from the pavilion end, comes in and bowls again, just nudged away on the onside by Sophie Luff. They'll pick up a single. She moves on to 6, 75 for 2. I have to say I was impressed with the parking arrangements for the double-header day there 2.5 weeks ago. It was just outside the ground. Even though we couldn't get on the ground, we were just outside the ground. And I went for a curry after the men's game, so it was an amazingly long day for me. And I didn't get back. Curry House just round the corner.
Yeah.
And you know where it is. As you go out of the ground, main gates, and then turn right. It's on the left there, and met 1 or 2 people. So I didn't get back to my car till quite late. But it was lovely. You know, it's just perfect parking.
Yeah. And the commentary box is about 50 yards nearer to the scene of the action than it is here.
About as many flights of stairs, though.
True.
But you're right, yes. No, it was lovely. It was a lovely day out.
Right, Bex Tyson to bowl her 3rd over. Gone for 1 for 15 so far with her slow left arm. She's bowling to Sophie Luff. Ian bowls Luff down the pitch driving, but straight back to the bowler. I've had a tweet from Somerset Cricket Museum, Mike Unwin I suspect that is, which I will bring you during the course of this over, from Bex Tyson to Sophie Luff, who lofts this. It's in the air and it's going to be caught by Elise Perry. She picked the wrong fielder there, did Sophie Luff. It was a good catch. Elise Perry had to make a lot of ground away to her left, but made no mistake when it came to taking the catch. So that's the Somerset captain gone. Caught by Perry off the bowling of Bex Tyson for just 6, and Somerset 75 for 3. Good catch, wasn't it?
It was, and she might have felt that she'd got the ball placement right there, Sophie Luff, but Elise Perry was quick along the ground there.
She's a fine athlete, isn't she, Elise Perry?
Yes, she hasn't been playing.
Well, sadly, my tweet has rather lost some of its relevance now. It says, the newest acquisition for the museum, this is a Somerset Cricket Museum, is a 2006 Somerset Under-13 scorebook. Sophie Luff on debut, aged 12. She made 96 not out and took 4 wickets against Hampshire.
Wow.
At the age of 12. Well, sadly, it's not been her day today.
Not yet. She might take a couple of screamers at extra cover.
She might.
Jess Hazel is the new batter for Somerset, the wicket-keeper.
Yep, Jess Hazel, just 20 years old. She did make her debut at Taunton in the game against
Yes,
Hampshire.
that's right. Yeah. Just watch that catch again as well. You see Sophie Luff hitting it down the ground, and then Elise Perry suddenly comes into the picture. She made up some ground very, very quickly indeed.
So Tyson to Hazel, short, just pushed up through the offside. Bex Tyson now has 2 for 15 in her third over. She's in again and bowls. This is down the leg side, but won't elude short fine leg. Mary Taylor doing the fielding. Tyson in and bowls, and Jess Hazel plays it back to her. This is where, as I was saying, Somerset have lost momentum in some of their previous games. This is where maybe an injection of aggression from the likes of Amanda Jade Wellington and Alex Griffiths. Hazel back on her stumps and turning it up on the onside of the pitch, and that was a wicket maiden. So Bex Tyson has figures of 3 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 15. Somerset 75 for 3 at the halfway mark.
Yeah, she's been a good acquisition, Bex Tyson. Sort of joined the Vipers towards the end of last year, about the last month I think it was. Just literally plucked out of obscurity, playing a little bit for Sunrisers' second team and playing for Hertfordshire. She used to be a left-arm quick, I'm told, and then changed to left-arm spin, and it's been a really good move for her.
That's the ball from the Rod Bransgrove Pavilion. It's the Hawks captain, number 1,
Hampshire's
Georgia Adams.
highest wicket taker in this year's competition. I've got an email here from Stephen Clark, who resides up at the Shane Warne stand, a regular email. HampshireCricket@bbc.co.uk. I'll come to that in a moment. It's Georgia Adams with her off-spin from that pavilion end. There's a reverse lap and it falls just short of Berry. Backward a point, and Fran Wilson will pick up a boundary. 79 for 3. Stephen says, brought the family along today, so if you get the chance, would you be kind enough to welcome along wife Cherry, grandsons Lucas and Jake, daughter Jo and son-in-law Ian. It's going to be a great AI-free day. Now that's an in-joke, AI. Because during the last game against Worcestershire, things were so slow that we ended up, as that's driven up towards mid-off by Wilson, she'll pick up a single, moves on to 35, 84-3. In the end, we got people to send in AI poems. So when you typed in various subjects like Kyle Abbott, you all know all about this, Charlie, us not so much, but you type in a few keywords and then whatever AI app you had would churn out this 8-line poem. So we did a few of those. It was actually quite fun. So it's going to be an AI-free day today. So that's everybody's in on the joke now. Let's turn away to mid-wicket. Daisy Gibb fields. Jess Hazel has faced 5 deliveries now and is yet to get off the mark. And into the 11th over. Somerset winning the toss. She's sweeping that one. She's on the pad. That's close. Oh yes, slow finger, slow death there from umpire Rose Dovey. And Hazel has to go for no score. 80 for 4.
Look pretty plumb from here. Trying to sweep a straight ball. And Somerset rather losing their way. 51 for 1 in the power play. Since then, in the 4.4 overs subsequently, 29 for 3. It's been their problem throughout this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Fran Wilson's a class player.
She hasn't had much of the strike recently.
She hasn't, no. You're right, just that middle order is deliverable. You know, listen, there's going to be an injection of pace here for however long Amanda Jade Wellington is out in the middle for.
Well, at least she's coming in number 6, not number 8, which she did at
she was too low against us. She was far too low. Yeah, she does put back to ball. She's a very, very good player. And this might be the ideal partnership from the visitors' point of view. 80-20 internationals.
Yep.
Years of age now. Amanda Jade Wellington was over here as the Western Storm overseas player as well. Adams in. Here's my over, isn't it? I can't remember. She's gone for the reverse lap straight away and fielded by Mary Taylor. Have to hurry. Taylor throws at the far end though.
Fran Wilson just apologising for, presumably she ran without calling. I suspect that's what the apology was for. It was obviously a single there.
81 for 4. Adams in again over the wicket, gives herself some room. Wilson drives out to extra cover. They're going to run there as well. Throw comes in from Gibb to keeper Southby.
A wicket taking over 2 for the captain, Georgia Adams.
Alright, so I thought they were announcing something major there. 1 for 7 from her first over. I think there was something like that announced, which is unusual. Go for the second one. The music is especially loud. Apologies if you're trying to listen to me and Anthony, or maybe you want me to turn the music up and hear less of me and Anthony. Either way, the music is loud.
I must say the PA here is just about the loudest I've come across.
I think it's louder than normal, if I'm honest. Piercing, I think, is one word I'm thinking of. You've probably got much better words because your vocabulary is a lot more defined than mine. Where else would you describe this?
Stentorian. Stentorian.
Where did that come from?
It was named after a particular, it's a word, named after a particularly voluble Roman senator called Stentor. Stentus. This is a wrap shot, nice shot by Fran Wilson. She plays that shot well. It was that reverse lap again, brought her 4 runs a couple of overs ago. Moves on to 36, which is her highest score of this campaign. And 36 from 22 deliveries, so she's going at a good rate of progress.
She's taking that right off the stumps, but it's almost as if there was no jeopardy in that shot at all. She had it covered totally.
Here comes Taylor again. In and bowls, and Wilson makes room for herself, and Taylor saw her making room for herself by going outside the leg stump, followed her, and ended up as a dot ball. Good piece of bowling.
Yeah, slow ball as well. Mary Taylor's been developing that ball during the winter. Not just bowling a medium pace, but trying to mix the paces up.
I saw Emily Windsor made her debut for Durham against Somerset.
Yes, last game, yes. Was it yesterday, day before?
Friday.
Yeah.
This is slower and in the air and is almost a catch to short fine leg, but she just couldn't quite get across to it. Looped up in the air.
Yeah, Bex Tyson there.
No harm done.
Yes, she was run out for about 5, I think.
Yeah, run out for 5.
I was going to text her actually this morning to say well done, congratulations on playing your first game, but they've got another game today, so she probably won't see her phone till later on today. So
Emily Windsor, with whom we have commentated on many occasions.
We have.
Here at the Utilita Bowl.
Yeah, she's done 1 or 2 games this year as well when she's been down here having her operation and recuperating. So yeah, good to see her back in, well, playing her first game for Durham.
It's Taylor in bowls to Amanda J. Wellington, who looks to run that down to 3rd man. Doesn't get anything on it. It's taken by wicketkeeper Southby. It's an obvious shot to play because 3rd is up inside the fielding circle, but a risky shot to play.
Yeah, Durham's still waiting to get on the field against the Blaze. That match is delayed.
Lise Perry being brought up into the fielding circle. Short 3rd has gone down to deep 3rd, quite wide as well. Taylor in and bowls to Wellington, who drives this fiercely back, but it's going to be cut off at mid-off, so it's just a single. Freya Davis coming across quickly to do the fielding. 84 for 4. We're in the 12th over. Somerset just losing their way slightly. They need to re-establish some momentum. Taylor into Wilson, who plays this out up to wide, long on. They should come back for a 2nd run, and they will come back for a 2nd run as Freya Kemp fields and sends in her left arm return. End of the 12th, 90 for 4, 8 to Fran Wilson and 2 to Amanda J. Wellington, who's only just come in.
Where's that game? Is it at the Blaze or at Durham? I'd have to look it up, but wherever it is, clearly some rain.
Blaze.
Is it the Blaze? So, mind you, they play all over the place, i.e. they're at Chesterfield on Friday playing against Hampshire. They have played at Leicester. Oh, I think it's at Lincoln. I think it's at just outside Lincoln. I think that's the game. I might have to check that. Lindham or something, which is around that area. Here's Georgia Adams then, start of a new over. That's cut away by Wellington out to Mary Taylor, who's on the short third position. I am still loving this crowd here. It's we're not even halfway through the women's game here, and it's a good crowd. This comes down the wicket, drives again, finds Taylor. Score remains on 90 for 4.
Amanda Jade Wellington, 138 runs in this competition so far. Best of 45, strike rate of 139.4.
That's a good strike rate, isn't it? It's just played out on the offside, although she's trying to reverse sweep that. Yeah, if she's out here for a few overs, the score will start ticking along. Oh no, it's at Nottingham, that game against the Blaze. I know they've got a game coming up in Lincoln. It's obviously not that one. Wellington comes down the track, hits it through extra cover. Datani runs around from deep mid-off, slides into that one. They'll come back for 2. Wellington doubles the score onto 4. And it's 92 for 4 in the 13th over here. Somerset winning the toss, electing to bat first, still looking for their first win in this competition. Just both batters having a chat there. The running looks all right. Must have been something else. As Adams comes in again, there's another reverse lap. She misses. Oh my word, that's nearly bowled her. It's come off something. What's the umpire going to signal? Byes.
Byes.
Just hit the pad of Rihanna Southby behind the stumps. That could have been very easily LBW. It could have been very easily a bowled. I don't think it's missed either very much. 93 for 4. Fran Wilson on strike, comes down the wicket to Adams, works that up to deep mid on. There will be just a single. Another good over from Georgia Adams.
We have 2 more.
Who's completed 2 overs, 1 for 10. It's 94 for 4 with 7 to do.
Yeah, the Somerset women wearing their batting shirts, which are predominantly black with fuchsia flashes. When they come out to field, they'll be predominantly fuchsia with black flashes.
Any particular reason?
I think it's just marketing, so they've got 2 shirts to sell to supporters.
So they've got so many sponsors lining up, they need 2 shirts.
I think it's mums and dads will be under pressure from their offspring to buy both the fielding and the batting shirts. I think that's the logic of it.
I can't believe your club, Anthony, has taken advantage like that. It's outrageous.
It's not a bad idea from that perspective.
No.
Elise Perry coming back into the attack from this hotel end. She's bowled 2 fairly undistinguished overs for 19 runs. But my goodness me, she's a talented cricketer, talented footballer as well. And she's got a nice easy approach, and then it's all in the action, but that's pulled away down to deep backward square leg, and Datani fields it well down there and sends in a good return on the bounce to the wicket keeper. Single is taken. It's 95 for 4 in the 14th.
I've got an answer to the, you know, you were speaking earlier in the innings about season tickets just for women.
Yeah. And
you say Somerset do it. I've got an answer actually, because I didn't know about Hampshire, but Hampshire do apparently. Right. I'll come back to that.
Perry then to Fran Wilson, who's on 44 from 27 deliveries. She's in and bowls, and Wilson waits for this and cuts it down to backward point, where it's well stopped by Mary Taylor. They come through for a single because she couldn't stop it cleanly because it was hit hard, but she got down well to her left.
Terrific stop. Thank you to Jonathan McElroy. Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. A reminder, Hampshire women's season tickets cost 50 quid. £50, I shouldn't say 50 quid, that's really horrible slang. £50. £50, and gives you entry to all home games, including the ones at Arundel and Falkland, which is coming up on Wednesday. That's near Newbury, and all double headers. All double headers. Oh, yeah. Loving the commentary, says John. Thank you very much.
Just a consultation going on between Georgia Adams and Elise Perry about the field, the result of which is that deep cover is coming into the circle, and we got a deep straight mid-wicket and a long on and a deep backward square leg, so they're expecting Fran Wilson to go leg side, or they're encouraging her to go leg side, and this is driven back over the head of Elise Perry for 4 runs. An uncomplicated blow from Fran Wilson, which takes her on to 49. And she is very much the mainstay of this Somerset innings.
Playing terrifically well. Hasn't really put a foot wrong, has she?
100 for 4. The 100 is up in the 14th over, halfway through it. Perry to Wilson, comes across her stumps, turns that into the onside, and that's Fran Wilson's 50. Well batted. With 30 balls with 8 fours. And, well, people have said of her that she's not really a T20 player, but she's very much belied that sort of thing here this morning. 50 from 30. And she's played some good shots, some imaginative ones, a couple of lap sweeps, reverse sweeps for 4. That was a good straight hit. Elise Perry's been expensive. She's gone for 26 runs in 2.4 overs. She comes again, kicking up her heels. She's in, bowls, and Fran Wilson advances, drives this away through the offside. It's only going to be a single though, as it's fielded out in the deep.
Might be Megan Sturge.
Megan Sturge, who hasn't been in the game a huge amount. She's dashing in now to take up her position in the fielding circle. 3rd going back. So we've got 3 out on the leg side and a 3rd. 4 saving 1 on the offside, as Perry is in and bowls, and Fran Wilson carves this away through the offside, and 2 of the fielders miss it, and that's going to go for 4 runs. Well directed. Wasn't best timed shot by any means, but it brings her 4 runs, takes her on to 54, and the score on to 106 for 4, and she's having a good chat with Sarah Jade Wellington. Yeah, she hit it hard into the ground, and it just bounced its way between the 2 fielders in the covers and out to the boundary for 4.
Philly James and Anthony Gibson with you here at the Utilita Bowl. We're on 5 Sports Extra 3. We're on the BBC Sport website and that. We're also on the live picture feed, which is going out on the Hampshire Cricket website and also through to the Somerset Cricket website. Well, she's found a good ally here in Amanda Jade Wellington. These 2 are put on 26. Doesn't sound a lot for the 5th wicket, but momentum seems to be back a little bit with Somerset after a good start. Also got an answer about the hats, the hairy hats. Which is a shame they've gone. Tyson in, and down the wicket comes Wellington, and she hits that full toss out to square on the leg side. She moves on to 7, 107 for 4. Apparently away to her left, somebody is wearing a yellow hairy hat down by the tunnel area, and it probably is the only one. They seem to be conspicuous by their absence now, having been the go-to accessory a couple of years ago. Lovely reverse sweep, and that's half stopped by Daisy Gibb at backward a point. They'll come through for another single. 108 for 4 Somerset in the 15th. Tyson into her last over here. So quiet when that music's not on. Isn't it? It's like being a rave when it's on. There's a nice shot out towards extra cover, and they're going to run. Oh, it's going to struggle here. It's going to be out by a mile. Direct hit. Direct hit from catcher Georgia Adams at extra cover. And that was a bit of a nightmare run, really. And I think that's Wilson that's gone.
It is, yeah. Sarah Jade Wellington's fault. She hit it straight to the fielder and set off for a single that was never there. And Fran Wilson, understandably, was back on her heels and was sold down the river, basically, by Amanda Jade Wellington, which is a shame because Fran Wilson, 55 off 32, very much, as I was saying, the mainstay of this Somerset innings, but she's gone. There'll be some apologising to do when Miss Wellington gets back to the dressing room.
I think it might be an idea that they stay apart for a little while. Hopefully they're one's changing at one end of the changing rooms and the other one's changing the other before they get reintroduced.
They need to work on their calling, Somerset women.
Well, they've run on a misfield there, and the ball did not travel very far away from Georgia Adams. I mean, she hardly had to move to pick the ball up.
And she's one of Hampshire's best fielders as well, which they jolly well ought to know.
Yeah, it's the thing is with T20, it can do funny things to you. Just watching it again on the live picture feed, you'll see there. I mean, literally the ball's at Georgia Adams's feet. And I think even if there hadn't been a direct hit, I still think that Southie would have had time to whip the bails off. Alex Griffiths is the new batter for Somerset. As Tyson bowls, she whips that away on the leg side, off the mark straight away. 109 for 5. There's a misfield there as well, out in the deep. But yeah, it's I suppose when you see the ball bobble out of Georgia Adams' hands, straight away you think, oh, let's go. But the ball didn't go anywhere. In fact, she almost had to get her feet out of the way to pick the ball up. Tyson bowls, using her feet this time is Amanda Jade Wellington, works that up to mid-on. 110 for 5 now, the total.
Well, Somerset have got probably their two biggest hitters together now, Alex Griffiths and Amanda Jade Wellington. And with just over 5 overs to go, it's the ideal time, in theory, for them to come together.
Tyson slower ball, can't find the angle there. Griffiths plays it back to Hampshire's left arm spinner. 4 overs, 2 for 19. Good figures.
19 runs and 2 wickets.
So 5 overs to go. Well, if Somerset can, should we say, too optimistic, say 45 from the last 5 overs, that would give them 155, which is probably a little bit below par. Defendable.
Well, it's not Tyson's best figures, because the best figures in this competition is 3 for 27, but it's the most economical figures in terms of runs conceded there. So well done to her.
So it's Freya Davis to come on and bowl from this hotel end. She's bowling to Amanda Jade Wellington. She's in and bowls, and Wellington waits for this and cuts it away down to deep backward point. Megan Sturge around the boundary to do the fielding. Take 2. Score moves on to 112 for 5. Davis in her 3rd over, 1 for 23 so far. With right arm fast medium bowling. 4 saving, 1 on the offside, 3 out on the onside. She's in, bowls to Wellington, who drives this away through extra cover, and good tumbling stop at extra cover, keeps them to a single. 113 for 5.
Yeah, good stuff, Abby Norgrove.
Quite a few of the Hampshire Hawks women sporting ponytails. So it's Freya Davis to Alex Griffiths, who pulls this away to deep mid-wicket, where Freya Kemp fields and sends in good return. She's got a good arm, hasn't she?
Yeah, that's why she's on the boundary. Yeah, it's always, you'll always look. If you look for Freya Kemp, just look where the rope is and she'll be there somewhere.
Naomi Tatani's another good boundary rider. She's out at deep backward square leg. And Elise Perry at long on, so 3 very good fielders patrolling the onside boundary as Davis bowls to Wellington. Full toss. She doesn't take full toll of it. It's going to be Kemp who fields and again keeps them down to a single. 115 for 5 in the 16th. Amanda Jade Wellington hasn't really got going yet. 12 from 16. Alex Griffiths just 2 from 3 deliveries. Davies in at bowls outside, that's a long way outside the off stump. Signalled a wide by the sylph-like Ian Blackwell. What a pity he didn't lose all that weight when he was playing for Somerset, and Justin Langer wouldn't have sacked him.
Is that why he got sacked?
Yeah. Miss Davis in bowls, turned into the onside just for a single. 117 for 5. Yeah, I mean, Langer's a bit of a fitness fanatic, as you know, and Ian Blackwell declined to alter his eating and drinking habits, much to the dismay of the Somerset faithful, for whom he was an absolute hero. So he went up to Durham and prospered up there. Here's Freya Davis in bowls down the pitch, and this is just over the top of Georgia Adams. That's a good meaty blow from Amanda Jade Wellington, brings her 4 runs, takes the score on to 121 for 5. She's on to 16. 4 overs remain and 11 runs off that last over, which is just what the doctor ordered for the Somerset women.
Good use of the feet as well, getting closer to the pitch of the ball and getting underneath it. Well, whilst we wait for the start between the Blaze and Durham women in Nottingham, the Surrey Essex women game has got underway at the Oval. Surrey are batting first there, 3 overs gone, they are 19 without loss. That's a slow start for Surrey these days.
Mind Essex coming to County Ground at Taunton on Tuesday for another double header.
We love the double headers.
We do.
Yeah, we do. I don't think we work hard enough in the double headers, if I'm honest, as commentators. I think we need to be given another task during the day. That's driven by Griffiths up to deep mid-off. Start of a new over from Georgia Adams.
It's not as difficult as doing a Metrobank one-day cup game where you're on for 100 overs.
That's true. There's a lot more running about, though, double headers.
True.
Up this end of the ground to do the interview, up this end of the ground to get a food and what have you. That's which is the most important part. As Wellington hits that up towards deep mid-on, 123 for 5 now are Somerset. Yeah, so Bryony Smith is 13 not out off 11, and Rachel King 6 not out of 8 for Surrey there, as that's driven back to Adams. And there is no run. Also, Lancashire Thunder are playing the Bears women. That gets underway at 1 o'clock today. And there are several games going on, or one game going on in League 2. Well, several games going on in League 2 actually, as that's set away behind square on the leg side. That'll be just a single. Megan Sturgeon off the boundary. I hope she has a better game today, because in her debut at Chesterfield on Friday, she was run out without facing on her debut.
Oh dear.
That's a bit of a death, isn't it, really? That's a lovely reverse lap there from Wellington. She's found the gap behind square on the offside, and that is racing away for 4. She does play that shot well.
Yes, she was given every opportunity to play it as well, full toss.
Now the cut-off here is in 4 minutes time here. Thank you, Joe's just pointed that out to me. It was on the ground. And we are only in the 17th over, so they've got to get a move on here, Hampshire. Otherwise they're going to find that one of the fielders on the boundary will be brought into the 25-yard circle as Adams comes in and bowls way outside off stump, and somehow Wellington skews that around on the leg side out to Kemp at deep mid-wicket. That's a slog sweep of extravagant proportions.
Do you think that that is sufficient penalty?
No. Do you?
No, I don't. I think there should be runs.
I agree. And also last night, when we were in Hove for the game in the evening, the cut-off was about 3 or 4 minutes' time.
Cameras picked up.
Oh, there's the yellow hat. The yellow hairy hat.
Yep.
Looks very fetching on them, man. This is a yellow bucket
There's
hat.
a yellow bucket.
So they're still very much in vogue, but just not being sold, I'm told. So that's an old yellow hairy hat. I wonder if they go in the washing machine.
Right. It's Mary Taylor to bowl her third over. Her first two have gone for 16. She's bowling to Amanda Jade Wellington, who is on 22 from 20 deliveries, just getting into her stride. She's got 3 more overs. Taylor in and bowls, and this is driven, but only as far as extra cover. It was fielded by Georgia Adams. Good piece of fielding. That was hit quite hard by Amanda J. Wellington. But Georgia Adams got everything behind it. Taylor in bowls. Full toss, driven again to Georgia Adams. This time not quite so fiercely, so there was time for them to go through for a quick single. 130 for 5 in the 18th. And Mary Taylor speeding back to her mark. I don't think it's going to do her any good, as she's in again and bowls, and this is pulled down the ground. Elise Perry will field. They're coming back for the second run. The throw comes in, and Wellington safely home for the second run. 132 for 5.
The thing is with the double headers, it's even more important to get your overs in time, isn't it? You don't want them overrunning. There's not a big gap between the two games as it is.
Taylor in the bowls, another full toss. This is top edged, up in the air. It's going to land safe, and bring just the single as Abby Norgrove comes in from long off. What time's the cut-off?
18 apparently. So we're 1 minute away. So
1
they are
minute
going
away,
to get
and
penalised.
we're 1 over away. So.
Is it 1 in for every over you don't complete? So it's 2 in the end.
It could be. This is outside the off stump. Slower ball. Good piece of bowling that by Mary Taylor. And Wellington threw the shot too early, not taken cleanly by wicketkeeper Southby, but it's a dot ball. So just dot 1, 2, 1 dot so far in this over from Mary Taylor. And he conceded 4 runs. She's into Wellington, who's turning this down to deep square leg, and they're coming back for the second run, and she's safely home. Not sure whether the throw hit the wickets there or whether the wicketkeeper did. But they're back safely for 2 runs. 135 for 5 then, with 2 overs to go.
Now what's going to happen? Are the umpire's going to signal anything here? Because we are bang on 12-18. Does that mean we get this over in as we've started it bang on time? We probably do, which means that for the last over then they will be penalised by one fielder coming in off the boundary. So 12 balls left. 135 for 5 are Somerset. And it's Georgia Adams to Alex Griffiths. Goes for the reverse paddle. She's going to get 4. She's done well there. Mary Taylor's not going to catch that one. Down over the third boundary. 139 for 5. Now Somerset, and these two are put on 31. That's quite quick time. Came together in the 15th over when Fran Wilson was run out for 55.
As I said at the time, it was the perfect moment really for the two of them to come together.
Yeah, it was. Yes. The innings has started well for Somerset, and it's beginning to end well. Melissa's dad's been on the emails. John Paul Story, how are you, John? Good to hear from you. Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. He says you're right about the speaker volumes. You're lucky to be inside. It's ridiculously loud. everyone around us is commenting on it. As that's turned away on the leg side for a single. Kemp throws into Captain Georgia Adams, 140 for 5. Oh, he's on the ground. Yeah, well, I'm glad it's not just us have noticed it, or just me, but must be a new amplifier in. If that's what they are these days. It's way outside off stump, and Wellington pulls that away square on the leg side, straight to Megan Sturge though. She'd
done better to have made a bit of room for herself and hit it through the offside, because there's no one out on the cover boundary.
There isn't, no, there's all ringer fielders on the offside.
Just back away, back away.
3 balls left of the penultimate over. 140 for 5. Wellington to face Adams. Drives back to Adams. Does well. She's been in the thick of the fielding over the last over or two as Georgia Adams. Wellington's on 25 from 26. Adams is around the wicket, bowls, gives herself some room, hits it on the offside, but up towards Datani at deep mid-off. Doesn't pick up the ball cleanly, allows the batters to come back for a second.
Only 3 out at the moment, so they must...
Maybe being penalised, yeah.
Yeah,
I think there was 4 out the last over.
Yeah, just the 3 out now. So a bit of frustration for Amanda Jade Wellington. She hasn't made more of it. 7 runs off this penultimate over so far. 1 ball to go.
Adams in again, flighted, reverse sweep. 1 bounce in front of Freya Davies. Ball just bounces off her arm. They come through for a single, and Wellington will keep the strike for the last over. 143 for 5.
26 runs and 1 wicket.
Yep, Amanda Jade Wellington continuing her good form. She's been a hugely important acquisition for this Somerset women's side. 38 runs, to which she's now added another 28, and 66 runs. So we're going to have the last over to be bowled by Freya Davies with her right arm medium pace.
And the final over of the innings to be bowled for the Hawks by number 61, Freya Davies.
Deans Perry is saying change over. They've got 4 out now, Hampshire, so I'm a bit baffled by this.
Maybe it's been pushed back.
Well, perhaps it's only going to be 3. I think in fact it's Abby Norgrove is going into the fielding circle. So we've got fielders out at deep backward point, deep extra cover, and deep straight mid-wicket. Freya Davies then to Amanda Jade Wellington, who's standing right outside her off stump. She's in and bowls, and this comes off mixture of bat and pad, I think. It's running down to the 3rd boundary and will get there and will be signalled leg byes. So just pad, no bat involved. So it won't concern Amanda Jade one bit. 147 for 5.
Well, clearly the noise around the ground is affecting 1 or 2 people. Neil Whedon, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk, says in the executive members area there is no PA, but there are speakers in the adjacent areas each side which are slightly out of sync, and it's impossible to understand anything that's said on the PA.
Here comes Davies into Wellington, who's down the pitch, launching this into the onside. Didn't get hold of it at all. It's a top edge. It'll bring her a single as Freya Kemp sends in the return. 148 for 5 with 4 balls remaining to Somerset girls confer. Are we allowed to call them girls, or did we have to call them women? A shrug of the shoulders. From,
I suppose it depends on what age you are, really.
Yeah. So 4 balls remain. We've got 5 saving 1 on the offside, 3 out on the onside. So premium on bowling straight or just to the onside of straight. This is outside the off stump, and it's going to be caught at backward point, and that is the end of Alex Griffiths, and a pretty straightforward catch by Mary Taylor at backward point sees the end of Alex Griffiths for 13, and it's 148 for 6 with 3 balls remaining.
Yeah, they've done well there. 40-run partnership or 5 overs. Yeah, this is a competitive total. It's going to be around about the 150-something mark, isn't it?
Could be a close game.
Yeah, that's a good total. Say Hampshire are minus Ella McCacken, minus Maya Boucher, minus Charlie Knott at the top of the order, all of whom have done terrifically well for Hampshire, both in 50 overs and T20 this season. So it won't be easy.
Chloe Skelton is the new batter. Gloucestershire girl, comes from Cinderford in the Forest of Dean. But we won't hold that against her.
Is there some rivalry there then?
Just a little between Somerset and the Gloucesters. The Forest of Dean's law unto itself, literally. Right, 3 balls remain. Freya Davis to Chloe Skelton down the leg side, and that will be a wide, and they take a run as well, so that's 2 runs, and that's 150 up for Somerset. 150 for 6 with still 3 balls remaining.
Good stop round Southby, diving low to her left there. Could have been more.
The field changes around for Amanda Jade Wellington. 2 out now on the offside, just the one on the onside. She's standing miles outside her off stump. She swings this away, could be a catch, and it's taken by Freya Kemp out on the deep mid-wicket boundary, and Amanda Jade Wellington perishes in the last over. But she has made 29 in her innings, and gave the innings just the injection of pace and aggression that it needed. 150 then for 7.
Yeah, Hampshire's 2 top wicket takers have shared 6 of the 7 wickets that have fallen. Freya Davies picking up her 3rd of the innings. Not quite enough power in that shot, didn't quite come out in the middle of the bat. Comfortable catch for Kemp just inside the boundary.
So,
well, if the cut-off time's anything to go by, this innings has gone way over time. It's not helped by the couple of late wickets.
well,
We're
it
nearly 10 minutes over.
We've had, it's nearly an hour and a half now, and they're only really allowed for sort of an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. If that. Hour and 18 minutes, they presumably adjust it for the number of wickets that
yeah,
that go down.
but I'm thinking of the time between this game and the next one.
Yeah.
May have a shorter break, actually.
Freya Davis then to Molly Robbins. She's in bowls, and Robbins lofts this down the ground, doesn't get hold of it really. They'll come back for a 2nd run as Elise Perry fields down below us. 152 for 7. I think this is not a bad total.
This
I
is
think
competitive.
it gives them a chance of defending it.
100%.
So last ball, Freya Davies is in and bowls, and this is swung away into the onside by Molly Robbins. They're going to come back for the 2nd run. There'll be a run out here, and Somerset will finish on 153 for 8. As Molly Robbins is run out in a vain attempt to pick up a 2nd run. That's not a bad performance at all by the Somerset women with the bat.
10 minutes between the innings.
10 minutes between innings.
County cricket here at Utilita Bowl. I'll pick up a play zone.
And the leading players, Bex Hodges made 18, Neve Holland 15, Fran Wilson, outstanding 55, the highest score of the competition so far, for just 32 deliveries with 9 fours. And then at the end, Amanda Jade Wellington, as per usual, 29 from 31 deliveries with 2 fours. And she and Alex Davies put on a very useful partnership for the 7th wicket. So there we are, Somerset 153 for 8 in their 20 overs. They'll be coming out in around about 10 minutes time to try and defend that.
Yeah, and we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, myself, Kevin James, Anthony Gibson, we'll be joined by Charlie Hart for the Hampshire reply on the Sports Extra 3. We're just going to go quiet for a minute, as we will on BBC Sports online and on the app.
The officials and players will be back with us in a few minutes' time as Hampshire Hawks look to chase down 154 for victory. Thank you to Matrix IT, our official sponsor of this Vitality Blast match and an official partner of Hampshire Cricket. Matrix IT are committed to providing the expertise and services that ensure businesses and their systems always run smoothly and efficiently. By taking away the burden of IT, Matrix allows businesses to focus on what they do best whilst maximising the return on their investment. Head to mtxit.com for more information. And we want to hear from you as well today via our social channels. How did you amp up your experience with us today? Share it on Instagram and you can win tickets to the next match. Just mention @HantsCricket on Insta and use the hashtag #AmpItUp. The top post will be shared on our official Instagram and can win tickets to the next fixture. Take a look at this coming on screen now. It's time to welcome back our match officials, our on-field umpires, Rose Dubby and Ian Blackwell. Match referee is Sarah Bartlett and the scorers are Caroline Green and Richard Isaacs.
Well, welcome back to the Utilita Bowl, where the two umpires, Rose Doby and Ian Blackwell, are out in the middle, awaiting the Somerset women's side to come out and defend their total of 153 for 8. This is a women's Vitality T20 contest. It's part of a double-header here, just outside Southampton. Later on, we will have Hampshire men against the Somerset men. Looking forward to that one. Live commentary on the picture feed and also on the BBC Sport website and app of this one. But right now, we're also on Sports Extra 3. I'm Kevin James, and next to me is Anthony Gibson, and shortly we'll hear from Charlie Harden, who's joining our commentary team for this Hampshire reply. So, Somerset, 153 for 8, Anthony. What do we reckon?
I reckon it's not a bad score. I think they've got a chance of defending this. They'll need to bowl well, and they need to field well as well. They need to take their catches. Something which the Hampshire Hawks did pretty well. There was a fairly straightforward caught and bowled, went down in the very first over. But after that, I think all of the catches were taken. It was a very good one by Elise Perry running around the boundary. But long on, here they come.
Yeah, Rihanna Southby and Elise Perry will open the batting. Rihanna Southby promoted up the order with no Maya Boucher, and before that, no Ella McGachan. Ella McGachan's recovering from a hamstring injury. Hopefully she'll be back not before too long. She's It's taken this competition by storm. The last innings she made was 100 against Essex. Has been injured ever since. In fact, this will be Ella's 5th game now she's missed in a row. Now, no one of two of you in the last innings were saying how loud the PA system is and the music. People on the ground and also listening and watching. I was told during the break they were going to turn it down. I'll be honest with you, Anthony, it doesn't feel like they have.
I think you could hear it in Eastleigh.
I think you're further away than that as well. I think you're right. Yeah, probably the people in Eastleigh will feel like they're at the game. It feels like we're right on top of the game. So, right. Yes, here we go then. And that's 20 overs, took an hour and a half. Can you believe that?
So, Olivia Barnes is going to open up from the pavilion end. Bowling to Elise Perry, slow left arm, full toss, and Perry misses out on a bit of a gift really. First up, this gentle full toss which she looked to play away over the top of mid-wicket but failed to make contact. Barnes in bowls. Perry waits for this and just plays it defensively into the offside. How long's Elise Perry here with the Hampshire Hawks?
For July.
For July.
Yeah, she's playing 6 T20s and a couple of 50 over games. This is her 2nd T20.
Barnes in and bowls, and Perry's down the pitch, driving that up to long on for the first run of the Hampshire Hawks reply, one without loss. And for the benefit of Somerset listeners, explain how Elise Perry comes to be here.
Because she really wanted to play for Hampshire. It was a big goal of hers.
But wasn't the Hampshire coach a big part in it? Or
Oh, yeah, I think of the fact that Charlotte, exactly. the ex-coach.
Yes. Here's Olivia Barnes in and bowls to Brianna Southby, who plays this out into the covers, and there won't be a run.
I must admit, I haven't spoken to her yet. She did a big press conference actually the day before her first game at Chesterfield, where she scored 12, by the way, opening the batting. I didn't get to speak to her really, so I've yet to sort of find out a little bit more about the whole move.
Barnes in and bowls, and this is tossed up and driven away through the offside by Brianna Southby for the first boundary of the Hampshire Hawks innings. Good crowd here now. Numbers building up in advance of the men's game, which is due to start at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, nice shot, Brianna Southby, who was promoted to open the innings at Chesterfield. She hit the highest T20 score ever of 64. Previously it was 50 when she was playing for Surrey.
Barnes in to Southby, sweeps, it's a wide, makes no contact. She got away with that because fine leg is up inside the fielding circle. So 6 without loss in the first over. Olivia Barnes in and bowls. Appeal for LBW, but it looked a bit optimistic even from our remote distance. And 6 without loss at the end of the first over.
Very slow, wasn't it, the last couple?
Yeah.
Sometimes that works pretty well, actually. And Southby had all the time in the world and in the end couldn't connect. So 154 is the victory target for Hampshire if they don't make it. So Somerset will win their first game of this competition, the T20 Blast for women. Molly Robbins will open up from our commentary end with her right arm medium paces. There's the crowd, if you're watching the live picture feed, basking in some sun at the moment, but rather interestingly, whilst there's a bit of sunshine over the ground staff below us are actually sitting by the hover cover. And they don't do it just because it's a comfortable place to watch cricket. I think they might thinking there might be a shower not too far away, but the sun is very bright for the moment. Bit of swing there. A nice shot by Elise Perry out to deep extra cover.
It's been raining in the test match, hasn't it?
I haven't looked actually.
So certainly a delayed start, which is hard luck on India.
Yeah, England up against it there, aren't they? 3 quick wickets they lost last night, didn't they? Was it
just started?
Oh,
just
good.
started.
Robbins with the keeper standing up. Bowls. Again, there's a good shape on that as Southby pushes that out into the covers. Yes, the ground bathed in sunshine currently. Well, there might still be enough time for India.
Yeah, it looks a pretty flat pitch. We were at Edgbaston a couple of weeks ago and just got flatter and flatter as the game wore on. Admittedly, that was a bit of Kookaburra ball, but the Dukes isn't doing much more.
No. 7 without loss then as Robbins bowls. Southby drives out towards deep cover. That will be a single. Is that Vukovic out there?
It is.
Deep cover.
First time I've seen her actually, Erin Vukovic. Only playing her second game.
Played a bit for Glamorgan in the 50-over competition at the start of the season. And several of these Tier 1 players do. They go out on loan. There's Robbins again, bowls. Perry drives up to mid-on. There's no run there. So Perry playing her second game, opening the batting. 12 in that first one, as I say, up at Chesterfield. You can see the way she addresses the ball. Stands quite tall. She's quite a tall girl anyway. As Robbins is in again, bowls. Perry hits that in the air off the inside half of the bat, goes out square on the leg side. Don't think she was quite looking to hit it that square. She picks up a single though, moves on to 3. You can see a giant inflatable up there between the pavilion and the Shane-worn stand. Every time I see that for T20s, it makes me want to go up there and just have a little bit of fun, but I never get the time.
Castle.
Yeah, I never get the time, funny enough. Bright pink and orange up there. It's wrapped on the pad there. Optimistic shout again, because that's way outside leg stump. End of the over. 2 overs gone. It's a whitish start from Hampshire. Yep. They're 9 without loss.
Quiet break on over 8. 8.1 started off at 7.65, but 2 decent overs from Somerset openers.
Shy lady on the camera there on the live picture feed. Obviously didn't want to be filmed. Maybe she shouldn't be here.
The bowler from the Royal Browns Pavilion, number 20,
Chloe Skelton. Who's going to bowl her off breaks. She's bowling to Elise Perry. She's in bowls and Perry's back on her stumps and looks to whip this away through the onside, but again, she's just hasn't picked up the pace of the pitch yet, Elise Perry. She's threw her shots a little bit too early and maybe trying to hit the ball a little bit too hard as well. It's a dot ball. Skelton's in again. She's short, and that's meat and drink to Elise Perry. Short and just lifted over square leg umpire, a couple of bounces and over the boundary rope for 4. 13 without loss in the third.
Lovely shot.
Pretty
a little bit underneath it, but safe enough.
She had all the time in the world. You can't, at this pace, you really can't afford to bowl it short on a flat pitch. Skelton in and bowls. It's short again, but this time Perry can only get it as far as square leg. Square leg. Erin Vukovic being sent back to deep square leg. So both of the fielders outside the circle on the leg side. And Skelton's in and bowls, and this is muscled up to mid-on, but there's no run. Four saving one on, no, it's 3 saving one on the onside. This is over the top of straight mid-wicket down to the boundary for 4. Again, it was just too short from Chloe Skelton. And Elise Perry took the opportunity just to lift it over straight mid-wicket out to the boundary at long on.
Yeah, she's right back on the crease there, Elise Perry, giving herself maximum time to hit that away.
17 then for no wicket in the third over, of which one ball remains. 2 boundaries in it so far. Grace Skelton in her shades. Perry this time turns this into the onside. Should just be a single. And is indeed, as Alex Griffith says, the fielding 18 for no wicket after 3 overs, 12 to Perry and 5 to Brianna Southmead.
Well, the ground staff are still sitting by the hover cover below us. There's some cloud above us, but let's just hope
I think
that
there's a shower away to the west.
Yeah.
I look at it.
Just wait and see if that comes over here. Might do. I think we'll get a little bit more play yet.
I suspect they might play through it, though.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but what's been happening, but at Chesterfield we had a shower and they just kept playing through it, and it lasted probably an over, less than that. Here's Molly Robbins then, with her right arm medium pacers bowls. Again, there's good shape on that, and that's a lovely drive from Perry out to Vukasic in the deep on the offside. And Hampshire move on to 19 without loss, and Perry is 13 from 13, so that's a high score for Hampshire. Oh, now I'm just looking at the crowd actually, just to our right, they're starting to move and put stuff on, extra layers, and there's even an umbrella going up, so clearly some rain has reached the ground. As that's hit away in the air, just short of mid on, good diving stop. Could have so easily have just gone past the clutches of Neve Holland there, diving to her right. Yeah, there's an umbrella up. There's several going up around the ground currently. Those in t-shirts putting on the fleeces.
Yeah, that's the direction the weather is coming from.
Yeah, away to our right on the west side of the ground. 20 without loss. Perry hits it over the bowler. Lovely, strong-looking shot. That's going for 4. Lovely swing of the bat through the line by Elise Perry. Easy as a like.
I think that's the hardest hit we've had so far in the game.
Yeah, and it's the hardest the rain has been so far. I can see the rain now. Now, are they going to play through this? Because this is actually fairly heavy, but how long will it be? The ground staff have risen. They are ready primed, should the umpires give the call. It is still raining. The umpires are now going to have a chat. They're looking around. Are they really going to keep playing through this?
Keep on playing.
Umbrellas are up. Yeah, they're going to go off. Yeah, I think they have to. It's a little too strong. I don't think it's going to be around for too long, but that quite clearly is rain that you don't really want to be sticking around for too long. So at 24 without loss, halfway through the 4th over, with Elise Perry on 17 not out and Brianna Southmead on 6 not out, the players are not exactly rushing from the field, so even though it looks heavy here, it clearly isn't too bad. But we are going to take a break in play, which is a bit of a shame. The umpires don't look as though they think it's going to last for too long, because they're sticking around.
The sun's coming out now to the west of us. I think by the time they've got back to the pavilion, the rain will have stopped.
I think we'll just stick with it as well, Anthony, because I think it's eased off a fraction already. Literally, as the hover cover gets on the playing surface, it looks like it's easing off.
Yeah, Somerset girls aren't going into their dressing room. They're staying on the boundary's edge, one of the dugouts.
So we're at 5-1 here at the Utilita Bowl. First break in play today. There is a shower or two forecast during the men's game a little later, but I think it's probably pretty much the same. I'm sure it stopped. Oh no, it hasn't quite stopped now. Just to see it. But it's the sort of rain now that
they would play through.
They would play it through, yeah.
We just had that heavy burst. Did we lose overs straight away?
Well, I don't know, but we'll find out. That's the thing with the double-header days, isn't it? There is no room for...
No, because you can't have them too close together because you and I won't have time to do the post-match interviews and have something to eat.
That's right, which is the most important
Absolutely.
thing. Because honestly, if there's a choice between eating and doing the commentary, I wouldn't want to be put in that position, Anthony. I don't know about you.
It's raining a little more heavily again now.
Yeah, this is going to be a little annoying for a little while. The cloud is patchy between just straight cloud and dark, fluffy clouds. Oh no, more covers are coming out, you know. It looks like we're going to have a bit more of the playing area covered very shortly indeed. Oh, this is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it is quite heavy now. As an aeroplane takes off from Eastleigh Airport, heading for somewhere warm, no doubt.
Yes.
Lanzarote is my bet.
Is that your favourite Spanish island?
No, I've never been to Lanzarote, but a lot of the planes that fly over us at Bangkok head on their way to Lanzarote. Or one of the other Canary Islands.
Gran Canaria?
Gran
Fuerteventura?
That one is headed for, oh, that's not, Newcastle. It's not exactly Lanzarote.
Not quite. Right, as we speak, the roll-off covers either side of the hover cover are being brought out. Although, actually, they are not fully extending them, which is good news. And in fact, there might be the odd spot, but that's about all. Is this going to tease us again? And just when we think that we might get a break in, a longer break, then maybe the main might stop. So just a repeat of the situation in the game. Hampshire replying to the Somerset total of 153 for 8 or 24 without loss. Lees Perry is 17 not out. Rhiannon Southby is 6 not out. So the situation we have in terms of runs required is another 130 from 16.5 overs, and the run rate from here on in is just under 8 and over. Now the umpires at the far end look like they're making their way towards us, which is good news.
I've just been looking up Erin Vukuzic's record. She's Croatian, and she has played 4 international T20s for Croatia. Having made her international debut earlier this year against the Czech Republic in the Women's Central European Cup. She won Player of the Match award for 85 not out. And she followed this up by claiming Player of the Match award again in her next game when her 63 runs and 3 wickets inspired Croatia to victory over mighty Gibraltar.
Whoa.
In total, she's represented her country on 4 occasions, scoring 197 runs at an average of 98.5 and has taken 4 wickets. And she's down to come in at number 11.
It's not bad, is it? Wow.
It's the first time I've seen her, and she bowls leg breaks, according to the Somerset website.
I could have a leg break bowl on at each end then. Amanda J. Wellington and
absolutely.
Vukasic. The umpires are in consultation with, I think that's Simon at the far end, and as they speak, the side covers of the hover cover are being rolled back into their position to take the cover off, which is great news. So we're not going to get much of a delay at all. In fact, it's only just over 5 minutes or so now, so that is very, very good news. A little disappointing because the crowd was building up nicely, I have to say.
Still, it's good news for the all the various catering outlets. Hasn't the Utilita Bowl won some sort of poll as being the ground with the best range of food on it?
I don't know. There's so many awards it wins. I can't keep up with it, Anthony. Was it the best sighting ground or something? Or is it the other one? I've lost count, to be honest.
Ground that's easiest to get away from at the end of play. Not.
Yeah, they're working on it.
ground with the commentary boxes furthest from the pitch.
Yeah, but the best media food.
It's not bad. Oh, sorry.
So
my pearls of wisdom were not coming across there because I had my mic too far away from it.
Oh, right. Hopefully that's better.
Yeah.
So the ground staff are slowly but surely wrapping up the covers. So I think we are going to get a resumption in the next, hopefully, just a few minutes. We'll just stay with you.
The skies are lighter. There's even a patch of blue sky away to the west, which is the direction that the wind is coming from, bringing the weather with it.
Yeah, that's good news. So it will make the ball very greasy when they come out for the restart, which will be interesting from a fielding and from a bowling point of view, especially for the leg spinners. I'm sure they'll enjoy that too much.
We haven't had that much rain there, shouldn't.
No.
It shouldn't be too bad.
The crowd that dispersed into the covered areas behind the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand and the Shane Warne stand are slowly but surely beginning to emerge into the open again and looking to take their seats once more. So we will get a resumption.
And you will tell from the roar that the hover cover is coming off.
It is. With a lot of dust in the air as well around it.
Yeah.
I think if I was part of the ground staff there, I'd go off and nip off and have a shower. So it's coming down towards us.
Yeah. Come some of the Somerset players have been back to the dressing room. They're coming back down the steps, assembling outside the visiting team's dugout.
Have we lost overs though? You're right. I mean, it's not going to be any more than 10, 15 minutes max. Probably
Yeah,
between
3.75 minutes per over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here they come.
The hover cover's almost as loud as the PA system around the
Yes,
ground.
when you've got the hover cover and the PA system operating together, can't hear yourself think.
We're all vying for the decibels that are left. So there you go. You just heard the ground announcer, Chris Temple, announcing the two new batters. The Somerset fielders dispersing to their various positions where they were when they left the field. Well, Molly Robbins was bowling halfway through her second over. Her first three balls went for 6. She will be bowling to Elise Perry. Two batters out there in the middle. Just doing a few loosening up jogs just to get loose again and get back in the zone. Now at the moment, it's still showing 3.5 overs. Whether that will stay that way, we'll have to wait and see. I've not had any notification to say that things have changed. But it may change.
Scoreboard hasn't changed.
No,
There's
that's
nothing
good.
on Crick Info to suggest that overs have been lost.
So just around the 12-13 minute break by the looks of it. And there is a little patch of blue sky away to our right. That'll come over. There was a bit of black cloud before that, so hopefully we'll be all right. Well, the ground scarf's disappeared. That's good news. Molly Robbins then to get us back underway. Slower ball as Perry waits, and that's a good bit of fielding at backward of point. And there's no run. The fact that the ground staff have gone back to the tunnel area is very, very good news, because if anybody knows whether it's going to rain or not, it will be them. So that's quite reassuring. As I won't mention the time of about 7 or 8 years ago where they did that, and there was a big shower of rain before a T20. That's it, and it got called off because of it. That's turned away, but that won't be any of the present ground staff or groundsperson, I can tell you. That was about 7 or 8 years ago when we had the local derby against Sussex, big crowd, everybody doing their warm-ups on the outfield about 40 minutes before the game, and this shower appeared from nowhere and there was no covers, and it was one of those where in 10 minutes the ground was underwater. And that was it. They had to apologise to Luke Wright, the Sussex captain, that's turned away fine on the leg side. We said, look, we're really sorry. It's one of those where if the cover would be on, just whisk them off and you're starting on time. But
it happened at Bristol, didn't it, a couple of years ago for a one-day international?
That was quite embarrassing, but that was many moons ago. That's the end of the 4th over, then 25 without loss, Hampshire.
Well,
thank you to Richard Isaacs, who's just messaged me, and he says we'll have 12 minutes break, no overs lost, as we have 30 minutes to play with. That's good news. I must admit, I never quite sure with the double headers. Thank you, Richard.
Right, who are we going to have from
That's the ball from the Rod Brownsgrove Pavilion. It's number 16, Erin Vukusic.
Oh, Erin Vukusic. Which doesn't look like a leg break bowler. At least her run-up doesn't look like. She had the longest run-up than any leg break bowler I've ever seen. Looks to me like she's going to bowl medium pace. Here she comes from the pavilion end. She's in, bowls down the leg side, and Perry swings, misses. It's going to be 4 wides, I think. Yep. Well, not a good start for the young Croatian. Playing only a 2nd game for Somerset. Joined them this year. She's at Exeter University and has played for Devon. Strengthening that strong link between Devon and Somerset in cricket. Vukusic in bowls outside the off stump, and there'll just be a single here as that goes out to deep cover. Fielded by Alex Griffiths out there. 31 for no wicket in the 5th over. Vukusic in bowls. This is driven away through the offside. Should just be 1. It will indeed. And not a very good return, reaching Vukusic on the half volley, but well backed up. So it is just a single. 32 without loss. Leaves Perry on strike. Quite an experience for young Erin Vukusic to be bowling to Elise Perry. She's in bowls, and Perry drives this back to her, and she half stops it. But Perry didn't get hold of that. It wasn't really a drive, it was more a sort of straight pull shot, the sort of shot you see in 20 over cricket.
With the bottom hand.
Yeah. Wicketkeeper standing up. Jess Hazel. Vukusic in and bowls, and it's just dabbed down into a gap between backward point and short third, and they take the single. 33 for no wicket, and the Hampshire Hawks haven't lost a wicket, but they haven't got away yet. Somerset made a good start, 51 for 1 in their power play. Vukusic in bowls, and Southby plays this into the offside, and again there is a single, but that's all there is, as Sophie Luff fields in the covers.
That's her position, isn't it? Extra cover.
Yeah, good position for a captain, I always think. Short extra cover or short mid wicket. So you can see what's at the fulcrum of events, and it's relatively easy to have a chat with your bowler if you need to. Vukusic in bowls. Perry pulls this away through the onside for 4 runs, or over the onside for 4 runs. She just leant back and lifted it over straight mid wicket. And that is 38 without loss, 24 of them to Elise Perry from 20 deliveries.
Yeah, just short. She was quickly onto that one. I just thought after her first couple of balls, actually, she looks like she bowls nice and straight, Vukovic, but that last ball just let her down a little bit. 38 from 5. 13 runs off that. Neil Whedon has emailed hampshirecricket@bbc.co.uk. We spoke about this actually at Taunton, and I think we briefly mentioned it at the start of this game. Says, do you think the umpire should be wearing different colours to the Somerset players? The square leg umpire looks like a fielder at first glance.
Well, they can't. They're wearing the colours of their sponsors, the umpires. So they're not going to change their colours.
So we've got a change of bowling again, haven't we? We've got, is it Olivia Barnes back into the attack, cut away by Rihanna Southby, and that's a boundary. Takes Hampshire on to 42 without loss, and Southby on to 12. It's this ball. I think this ball's going to be a little bit more difficult to grip. I know it wasn't a lot of rain, but just have a little sheen on the outfield, and it wasn't roped. Probably didn't need to be roped, but it still means that there's a bit of surface water. She's got the towel, you'll notice, hanging from her trousers as she comes in and bowls. Flighted, worked on the leg side by Southby for a single, moves on to 13, 43 without loss, Hampshire. And in the other games, other women's games that are going on today in Tier 1, there's a no result between the Blaze and Durham. They actually managed to get some play at Nottingham. Durham was 16 for 1 in the 5th, but that's already been called. So that's a no result. That's probably not a bad 2 points for Durham, actually. That's a shot, lovely shot over mid-off from Elise Perry, who did not even bother running. She knew the minute that the ball left the bat that that was going way over the fielder. It's a lovely shot, really is.
Must get this tweet in from Greg Hill before I go off commentary. Afternoon, Anthony and Kevin. Enjoying the coverage. Sorry I haven't been in contact, but work has been very busy. I was at the game on Friday. That's the reason we've lost. So hopefully we can get back to winning ways today. Thank you, Greg. Good to hear from you.
Surrey against Essex at the Oval. Surrey women, that is. That's just driven to extra cover, and there's no run. Surrey 135 for 5 in the 19th over. I think Essex might be quite pleased with that. Kira Chatley's 42 not out there. Phoebe Franklin 26 not out. Those are the 2 top scorers in the Surrey innings. That's cut away by Perry. She's found the gap just in front of square. Bit of a mixture here from Olivia Barnes, and the 50 is up right at the conclusion of the power play. I think that's you off, Anthony.
Still one ball to go.
Oh, it's a 1 ball, sorry, apologies.
Trying to get rid of me prematurely.
Well, would I? Would I even think about that? Quietly. Perry's 32 from 23 now. Looks as though she's growing into this innings.
Yeah, they've made up the ground on Somerset, and they're ahead of the game now. Duckworth Lewis par at this stage, 36, and Hampshire on 51.
Scoring at a rate that is slightly above what they need from here on in, which is ideal, really. It's down the leg side, that'll be a wide. So your stint is prolonged, Anthony.
Yeah.
Total moves on to 52.
Somerset need a wicket.
Yeah, they do. 102 needed. Perry drives into a boot there as it goes back to the bowl at end of the over. Thanks, Anthony. Charlie Harden will come alongside me. He plays his club cricket up at St Cross, just outside Winchester, with a few of the Hampshire men's players. We're on Sports Extra 3 for the women's game only here at the Utilita, and listeners to that will go to the Formula 1 a bit later. We're also on the live picture feed, Hampshire Cricket website, Somerset Cricket website, and also BBC Sports Online, and also the app. Welcome, Charlie.
Thank you very much, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be back. Elise Perry and Rihanna Southby making this look incredibly easy so far. They're 52 for none off 6. Perry on 32, Southby on 13, and they've nurdled beautifully at the start and really started cashing in with a few boundaries, risk-free so far from these two. Some beautiful cricket.
So we've got some leg spin here with Amanda Jade Wellington from the pavilion end, bowling to Rihanna Southby. First delivery is cut away by Southby to backward of point. It's fielded by Molly Robbins, and there is no run. What do you feel about that total? 153 for 8, Somerset.
It felt like Somerset did well to get there.
Southby works that away on the leg side, runs the first one quickly. Will they take the throw on? No, they won't.
However, there was that cluster of a wicket sort of just after the halfway mark in the Somerset innings, which kind of halted their run scoring at that time, which meant that they just scored slightly below par. It kind of makes me think that maybe 175 was more of a decent total to get to, and 150 just a little bit below par here.
53 without loss. Amanda Jade Wellington again. On the back foot there is Elise Perry. Finds the gap through the covers. Moves on to 33. 54 without loss. And Hampshire need exactly from here 100.
Nonetheless, Somerset, after their pretty ropey T20 blast so far, I think it great credit to the batters out there today to actually get up to a really competitive total, something that seemed defendable at the time. However, it is seeming to be less so as the game continues.
Somerset still searching for their first win in this competition. Southby's on the back foot, can't find the gap as it goes out to point. Yes, those defeats have been getting narrower, fair to say. Lost by 5 runs against Hampshire in the reverse fixture at Taunton just over 2 weeks ago, and they lost by just 6 runs to Durham at Chester-le-Street a couple of days ago. Searching for that first win. Rihanna Southby works that out to extra cover. 55 without loss, whereas Hampshire have lost 3 of their last 4. That one win in the middle of that run was that game at Taunton. So Hampshire in 4th place, looking to challenge the top 3. I think any side will find that difficult. Top 3 at the moment are probably the 3 best sides. That's hit through extra cover hard by Elise Perry, and that's going for 4 runs to end that. Amanda Jade Wellington first over. She's conceded 7. Hampshire up to 59 without loss.
Elise Perry again showing her class, and with a beautiful skip down the wicket there to Wellington after the ball's been bowled, and a beautiful lofted cover drive. A catchable height but placed well in the gap, and Perry makes her way to 37. It's been a fine start from her and from her counterpart Southby as well.
So the showers are back. It's raining once more. How long for? I don't think it's going to be for very long, because there are speckles of blue sky almost above us, so hence why the umpires don't seem to be too bothered at this stage about taking the players off.
It looks a little bit heavier than the last time they did bring the players off. However, you're right, there's a hint of light in the ground that actually makes you think this shouldn't last too long, Kevin. However, the ground staff are making their way over to the hover cover, and there's a little bit of a pause in play, but Griffiths looks to be taking this over from the hotel end, and we are underway. Griffiths bowls into Southby, who places it out into the offside. That'll be 1 run. One thing Hampshire have done very well so far in this innings, not only when they've cashed off the bad balls, but they've put good balls away for 1 run. However, it's bad news, everybody. The umpires have signalled to the ground staff, and the players look a little bit frustrated, as are we up here in the gantry. But the hover cover makes its way onto the pitch, and the players make their way back to the pavilion.
This is annoying. That's Richard Isaacs, who sent me that text earlier. He's one of the official scorers here, so thanks to him to clarify that we do have 30 minutes to play with. The first break we had was 12 minutes, so we've got 18 minutes to play with, haven't we? So the clock's ticking.
It always takes an incredibly long time for covers to get out there, players to get off. However, there's a bit of a halt, everyone, and the covers have been sent back. You wouldn't want to be the driver. That was a very good 3-point turn there from the hover cover.
It was still moving towards the wicket when they were trying to stop it and turn it back.
It started drifting at one point.
No, it's taken about 7 guys to make sure that momentum was reversed.
But the sun is out, and all of a sudden the pitch here at the Utilita Bowl is glowing as we set about to continue this over from Griffiths. We only got 1 ball in. Ground staff better stay out there, I reckon.
Well, my calculations, very quick calculations, so I think we're going to lose about 2 or 3 minutes. So we've still got about 15 to play with.
That can't have been a fun one there for the hover driver.
Same principle.
Same principle, but I don't think we've got any hovercrafts out there today. Elise Perry, 37 not out of 26 balls. A great showing so far of boundary hitting and single scoring. But Griffiths, here's her second ball of her spell. Into Elisa Perry on strike, who works it off her legs towards a deep square leg. Will be 1 run. And there's 3 out on the leg side. There's a deep square leg, just a little bit backward of square. Then we've got a deep mid wicket and a long on as well. And then the only deep person on the offside is that deep cover point.
I mean, the showers haven't been hard, but it's interesting how a lot of the crowd, I think, have just enjoyed being sitting in the rain.
As Griffiths bowls again, a slashing drive from Rihanna Southby. This time a little bit squarer, but deep cover's going to come around and collect that. And they make their way back for 2. Rihanna Southby continuing her fine form from a couple days ago, where she scored 64 off 42 deliveries in the loss against the Blaze. However, after Perry's 12 off 10, you feel like a player of her class is due a bit of runs.
Yep. We've got bright sunshine again. Lovely.
Griffiths in again to Southby, who works it off her legs into the vacant leg side region. Will be picked up by a deep mid wicket. 64 for none off 7.4 overs. Yeah,
I think we've had so little rain. A lot of the crowd seem to be quite happy just to sit there and soak it up, so to speak. It's like, oh, it's raining. Oh God, that's what it feels like. That's what it looks like.
It's been almost a drought over the last few months, hasn't it, for us here in England? However, Griffiths approaching the crease now. It's Perry on strike, who dabs it into the offside for a quick single. Great running between the wickets from the Hampshire players once more.
I'm not sure that should have been a single, really. They both went straight away. Good understanding between these two, who won't. Well, they batted a few overs at Chesterfield. That's the only time they'll have spent in the middle together.
They've adapted well, and they're clearly a brilliant pairing here. As Griffiths bowls again into Southby, who whacks it down the ground. It's going to go towards long on. It's taken a few bounces, then been picked up. That's 1 run. But Ella McCocken, Charlie Knott and Maya Bouchier all out of this Hampshire side. They are 3 of Hampshire's top scorers, and they're all in the top 9 for the tournament, and we are missing a combined, I did the maths, 804 runs from those 3.
Wow.
Over their first few games.
That's a lot to make up.
It is, but these 2 are doing divinely so far.
So, 8 overs gone, 12 remaining in the game. Hampshire chasing 154 for victory. 66, good start, good platform laid. And from here, Hampshire need another, it's 88 I think it is. Chloe Skelton then is into the attack with her off breaks from the pavilion end, pulled away by Rihanna Southby out towards deep square leg. She moves on to 21 now. Hampshire on to 67. Remember, there's the men's game here at 3 o'clock. We've got live commentary of that one. All frequencies BBC Radio Summit, as well as live picture feed, Hampshire Cricket website and Somerset Cricket website. 3 of us will be here for that one as well, after we've had a bit of lunch. Still thinking about food.
I'm thinking about the cricket here, Kevin.
Well, you would be. You're far more professional. Skelton bowls, and that's a cutaway by Perry. Good diving stop.
Great stop.
That is an absolutely terrific stop at full stretch by Sophie Luff. Keeps the score, well, it was a single, keeps the score though down. Could have been a few more. 68 without loss. Hampshire from here need 86 to make it a double over Somerset. Skelton bowls, cut and miss from Southby.
Just looks a little bit skiddy out there now, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it will be, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the pitch has had 2 showers of rain on it before the covers could get on, wasn't it? That's pulled away by Southby. It struck well. 1 bounce out to deep square leg. Southby moves on to 22. I mean, when you look around the ground on the bow and behind the seats, you would hardly think there's been any rain. There's no puddles. Just a little bit of dampness, but that's about all.
Definitely brightening up here, Kevin.
Yeah. I think we'll be all right for the rest of this game, and then we'll have to wait and see what comes over the hill, over the Shane-worn stand about 2 o'clock as we look. That's where the weather comes from. Looks okay. Perry off the back foot. 1 bounce out into the covers. Just leant back on that a little bit, which meant the ball was in the air.
They've scored a lot of their runs today through that backward cutting region. And often cutting well, especially Rihanna Southby's been cutting well behind square on the offside.
She has. Yeah, that's one of her favourite shots, that one. Skelton bowls. There's another cut shot. It's a good stop at backward a point. They want the single, but they don't dare take it. End of the over. And 69 without loss. That's not a bad over, actually, from Skelton. That only conceded 3 runs, despite the efforts of Perry mainly to try and pierce the field. So the Hawks require 85 from, how many overs has that got? 11 overs.
A lot of that success in the last over for Somerset all came from fielders in the backward point region. They've got 2 there covering that gap. And the Hampshire batters knew that if they could get it away just past one of those fielders, it was an instant 4. But those 2 did it absolutely brilliantly to cut off any ball going in that direction. Griffiths maintains her spell from this end. Oh no, it's a change of the bowling. Erin Vukusic, the Croatian international, who's played 4 games, as Anthony was alluding to earlier, for Croatia. She's in running up now to Rihanna Southby, who clips it into the leg side, just inside half of the bat, towards deep mid-wicket for 1 run.
Where do they play their home games then, Croatia? What's the capital of Croatia?
It's not Zagreb, is it?
I don't know, actually. I'll have to
Trying to think of the football team. Someone's shouting down the speakers, I'm sure, at the minute. Maybe we've got some Croatian listeners watching on Vukusic as she begins her run up.
Zagreb, you're right.
In towards Elise Perry. Oh, he tries to cut away through the offside, but it is a play and a miss. Again, these Hampshire players cutting. I think since the rain break, as we've said, it's making that shot a little bit harder to get away, a little bit harder to time. But Vukusic, as Anthony had said earlier, averages 98.5 with the bat for Croatia. However, she's bowling now and took a 3 for 27 against Gibraltar last year. So Vukusic in again. An attempted ramp, and it's hit her on the pan. It's been given. LBW, Elise Perry has to go. What a brilliant wicket that is for the young Croatian. Perry's just opened up her stance, trying to scoop it, use the pace to lift it past a short fine leg, but she's missed it. It's hit her on the pad. And sometimes, as an umpire, when you see a shot like that that gets missed, you are desperate to give it out. But it looked very plumb. As the new batter is Freya Kemp. She made 6 in the last game versus the Blaze. However, she has 137 runs in the tournament at an average of 34 with a high score of 65.
Yeah, and that came in the reverse fixture at Taunton just over 2 weeks ago, our highest T20 score, either for England or Hampshire or even Sussex, where she originally played. Now, I'm trying to find out where they would play their home games. Those games against Gibraltar in Prague.
Is that Vinyl?
Yeah, Prague, wherever. Well, it says the 5th match at Prague.
Oh, apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a little tri-series between Czech Republic, Gibraltar and Croatia.
Right.
What a series that would have been. 3 balls left in this Vukusic over. Freya Kemp will be on strike. A couple of changes to the field. They're bringing Long on up to an orthodox mid-on. Oh no, it's a mid-off, apologies. It's left-handed Freya Kemp. There's a Long on out. There's deep mid-wicket. and square legs being sent out as well. Not a huge amount of pressure here on the new batter.
No, I mean, she likes to play out on the leg side. That's her strong side. She does like to put back to ball straight away. I think that's a good field, actually.
Vukusic running in. Right arm round the wicket to the left-handed Freya Kemp, who slaps it down the ground to mid-off. That'll be no run.
Yeah, I think just get the leg side fielders out, which they've done. She'll hit a lot into that area. Make sure she doesn't find the rope too often, because she will if she gets hold of it.
Vukusic. She's into her second over here. 1.4 overs. She's taken 1 for 14. She strides into the new Freya Kemp, placing it into the leg side. They're going to push for 2 here. It's into the gap. They've turned around and they're going to make it comfortably. Great run in between the wickets out to the long boundary, out towards the nursery ground.
Yeah, you'll find out this will be a feature of this partnership. They will run hard. And Southby's very quick between the wickets.
Very smart with the gloves as well.
She's having a good all-round season. Played for England A in the 2-week break between the end of this tournament and the restart.
Vukusic in again, this time worked down to short fine leg, and it's well fielded, and it'll be a dot ball. 3 runs coming from that Vukusic over, and the 1 wicket of Elise Perry. A brilliant over for Vukusic, and a little bit of pressure putting back on the Hampshire batters, and a bit of momentum going towards Somerset.
Yeah, last 2 overs have both gone for 3. So that's, yeah, Somerset have done well there. Elise Perry gone as well. It's been a good little period. Amanda Jade Wellington back at the far end. Just seeing Harry the Hawk. Or is it Harry? There's obviously a female version, which I can't remember what they're called.
It's not Harriet, is it?
It might be Harriet, might be.
Makes sense.
And if it's not Harriet, you think it probably should be.
Be wrong.
I can't believe there's a better name for the female version of the Hawk than that. Well done, Charlie.
Thanks, Kevin.
Sunshine is back out for the moment. Wellington just getting her field right on the leg side, just pushing Sophie Luff back a little further at extra cover as she bowls to Southby. He's trying to work that on the leg side, doesn't quite get that right, and Wellington comes across to field off her own bowling. Halfway through the Hampshire innings, or 1 ball over it now, 82 needed. Wellington in again, bowls. Southby hits that away on the leg side in the air, but safe. 1 bounce out towards deep mid-off. Southby moves on to 24.
You can really see how whenever the ball gets dropped short, instantly Southby gets into that position to work it down towards third man. And the problem is when you open yourself up like that, it makes it very hard to work it into the leg side off your hips. And Southby, just in the penultimate, the previous delivery before that one, just showed that it's a little bit more tricky to work into the leg side when you try and open up for that late cut down to third man.
Kemp to face Wellington. Bowls. Kemp comes down the wicket, drives, but finds Luff at extra cover. Stephen Clark's back on the emails. Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. He says he is still there. That's right, it's been quite a while since his last email. But no, the amount of emails you're sending, Steve, is about right. Just asking if he sent it too many or he needs more. Kemp plays that out to deep cover. They'll run 2 here. Probably the field is sliding on there, this greasy outfield. 75 for 1. He says, according to his grandson Lucas, who knows these things, he says, Zagreb is indeed the capital of Croatia. You were straight there with it as well, weren't you?
Thank you. I was thinking about the football team actually. Dynamo Zagreb.
So that had to be the capital.
Had to be.
75 for 1. Wellington bowls. Kemp works it on the leg side this time. That'll be a single. Kemp moves on to 5. And the total on to 4-1. We've got 1 ball left of the 11th over. Hampshire from here need 78.
Finally in the balance here, Kevin.
It is. Wellington bowls. Southby on the back foot, cuts that away again. Only out to deep on the offside, and that will be the end of the over. So we've had 11 overs here. Hampshire chasing 154 for victory, where Fran Wilson made a half century. She made 55 for the visitors. They need 77, and that run rate from here on in. What are we looking at? 77, 9's into 77.
Let's just say 77 off 54.
Yeah, I know. I went down a road I didn't really want to, and to be honest, I couldn't get myself out of the cul-de-sac.
No, and I couldn't back you up there either, Kevin.
82 at this stage Somerset had, so they were going along slightly better, but not a lot between the two teams at this stage.
It shows, especially in a chase, it's going to make things incredibly tricky for Hampshire if Somerset can take a couple of quick wickets here. Could really stall their momentum, which Southby is continuing as she is on strike to Chloe Skelton, who takes over from Vakusic as it's worked into the offside off the back foot. They're looking to come back for two here, Rihanna Southby, but it will just be one run. Running that first one incredibly hard today.
There she is. Just keeping things ticking along there, Rihanna Southby. It's 26 off 28 she's got. Elise Perry, that one wicket that's fallen, she went for 40.
Southby was playing a lovely anchor role of just rotating the strike, whilst Elise Perry was playing a little bit more expansively from the other end. Freya Kemp with a bright pink grip, the colour of the Somerset kit, which seems a little bit wrong. Skelton in this time to Freya Kemp, who edges it down towards third man. It's gone through the gap of the ring fielders and it runs away for four. Not a particularly convincing shot. I don't think that was intentional there from Freya Kemp, but it's four nonetheless.
Yeah, it's kind of a good time. Freya Kemp will put back to ball, that's for sure. That's the first boundary since the end of the seventh over.
A real stall of momentum there for Hampshire, however, only one wicket lost, which is the key. Skelton, she's 0 for 17 off 2.2. The score's 82 for 1. Hampshire requiring a further 72 off the 52 balls remaining, as Skelton in bowls to Freya Kemp, who punches it hard through the leg side. It's going to be 4. She's just beaten the mid-wicket fielder who's in the ring and exploited the gap. And long on, couldn't get round. Great shot from Freya Kemp. She moves on to 13.
Typical Freya Kemp shot, typical Freya Kemp area through that mid-wicket. She does hit the ball hard. It goes past the infield. If you haven't got fielders on the boundary in the vicinity, you're struggling. And Sophie Luff now already deciding that she needs to just alter that leg side field, the deep leg side field. She's going a little squarer, and the fielders on the rope are going a little straighter.
Almost asking Kemp to play the sweep shot here as Skelton bowls, and it's wider outside the off stump, well bowled, and it will be no run.
I love Freya Kemp. If ever she's not hitting the ball out the middle of the bat, she just looks up in the heavens and say, why on earth didn't that come out the middle of the bat?
Well, maybe should have learnt for this ball, as Skelton, 2 balls left in her over. Bowls, and it's cut away into the offside. Into the cover region will be 1 run out to the deep fielder. 10 runs off the over so far for Chloe Skelton. All that momentum that was being brought Somerset's way is being slowly clawed back by Hampshire, thanks to a couple of great boundaries from Freya Kemp. But now it's Southby on strike. Skelton, final ball of her over. Bowling her right arm orthodox, and it's clubbed into the offside. To the deep fielder will be 1 run. 88 for 1. Southby moves on to 27. And we're going to have a change in the commentary box.
You come alongside me here, or my position, Charlie, and then I'll bring Anthony in alongside you. So Charlie Harden and Anthony Gibson will take you through the next 6 overs of play, with Hampshire needing 66 off 8 overs. Next voice you hear will be Anthony Gibson.
Well, Somerset need a wicket. The Hampshire Hawks are ahead of where Duckworth Lewis Stern says they need to be. DLS is 82 and the Hampshire Hawks on 88 for 1. And Freya Kemp is looking dangerous. Alex Griffiths is going to come into the attack from the pavilion end, according to Rihanna Southby, who's...
I'll bring some news, Anthony, which is the official attendance for the women's game. I'll come back to you.
Here comes Griffiths to Southby, who pulls this up to long on, moves on to 28. If you're watching on the live stream, they had Rihanna Southby on 2. She's on 28. Yeah, go on.
The official attendance for this women's game, 4,782, a new record for women's domestic T20s at the Utilita Bowl, beating the record set in the first match of this season.
You know why that is? You know why that is? Because it's Somerset.
And it's not looking rosy for Somerset currently. 89 for 1.
Oh, it's early days. Here comes Alex Griffiths into Freya Kemp, gets a leading edge out into the offside. She'll pick up a single. Score moves on to 90 for 1 in the 13th over. So the required rate is still above 8.4, but it's not far above where it was at the start. It started off at 7.6. And with 9 wickets in hand, shouldn't be too much problem for the Hampshire Hawks to accelerate from here. Southby on 28 from 30 as Alex Griffiths right arm medium pace, and this is hit uppishly into the offside, but they set off straight away for the single. Sophie Luff having to get down to make the stop. That was her first priority. Wasn't really in a position to get in a quick return. There's another aeroplane takes off from Eastleigh Airport away to our right. I suspect that one's headed for the Channel Islands. It's not the biggest airliner ever to take flight. Griffiths in, bowls to Kemp, who takes a hand off the bat as she runs this up to long on for a single. 92 for 1.
Freya Kemp, despite striking at 133, 16 off 12, is getting incredibly frustrated, as it seems she normally does when ball's not coming out of the middle of the bat. However, I don't think it'll be too long before we see another boundary from Kemp.
Griffiths to Southby, drives uppishly, but splits the difference between mid-off and extra cover, and that's gone to the extra cover boundary for 4 runs. Powerful off drive from Rihanna Southby. Takes her on to 33, the score on to 96 for 1. And well, Somerset need a wicket badly.
A beautiful lofted drive through extra cover that just lands one bounce on the ring and skips away for 4. Great shot by Southby. She's on 33.
Griffiths in again, bowls, and this is driven away through the offside again and will be not quite cut off out in the
A brilliant effort out there.
Yeah. Valiant effort. But that's the Hampshire Hawks. 100 on the board, 100 for 1. Gallant effort.
She's stopped the ball brilliantly first time with a great diving effort out on that boundary. However, that touch only took it closer towards the boundary. She attempted another dive, but got nowhere near it in the end.
Southby on to 37 with that 4 through extra cover.
100 for 1 coming off 13 overs. Hampshire require a further 54 to win off 32 balls.
That's the end of that over.
Vukusic back onto the bowling. Chloe Skelton was brought on for 1 over, but it went for 12 runs in the end. So Vukusic has been brought straight back after getting the prized wicket of Elise Perry. Freya Kemp will be on strike. She's on 16. Vukusic in bowls, right arm round, and it's lofted wide outside the off stump, and it will be a dot ball as it's driven towards point.
Taking a left hand off the bottom hand off the bat again.
Yeah, she's done that a couple of times now. Maybe picked up a injury on her hand or on the fingers in the first innings, maybe. Freya Kemp facing up. The left-hander, Vukusic bowls, and it's whacked into the offside, through back with a square leg, and it's going to run away to the boundary for 4. She's opened up to hit that a little bit further in front of square than she intended, however, made her way to the boundary.
Yeah, Vukusic runs in with a purpose, but the ball doesn't come out of her hand with any great venom. And if she drops it short, as she did then the batter's got plenty of time to pick their spot.
Yep, shortened down the leg side, and it got punished by Freya Kemp, who moves into the 20s. 104 for 1 Hampshire, 50 to win off 40 balls with the 9 wickets in hand as Vukusic starts running in. Again, right arm round, and it's attempted clip, but it's hit her on the front pad. Freya Kemp with a little bit of a limp. It might have just snuck through a gap above the pad and below the thigh pad there.
That was a much better delivery, just cramping Freya Kemp for room.
A much better length. As the keeper's laces gets done up, that's Jess Hazel, who was a National Cup champion for St Cross, my local team, in Winchester in 2023. As Vukusic bowls into Freya Kemp. Again, a better delivery this time, worked out to long on. That'll be 1 run. Just getting her length and line back here, Vukusic.
Yeah, she's bowled quite nicely, hasn't she? What's she gone for? 21 in 2.4 overs. But a moment she'll remember for the rest of her cricketing career, she removed Elise Perry, LBW.
What a scalp that was.
Yeah.
Go home and tell all her friends, tell her family. She took the wicket of Elise Perry. Vukusic in again. Second last ball of the over. Slow and straight. It was attempted caught and bowled, however, it was just outside of range and it went over to mid-off for no run. A lofted slap there by Rihanna Southby. A little bit out of control. But good bowling from Vukusic. 3 out on the leg side, long on, mid-wicket and square leg, all out on the boundary, and then a deep cover 2 as Vukusic bowls again. Brilliant delivery straight back to the bowler for no run. Great pressure building. That's the end of the over. It's 105 for 1 with 6 overs left. Hampshire need 49 to win.
I can't make up my mind whether Erin Vukusic is taking pace off the ball or that's just her natural way of bowling, because the seems to be slightly out of proportion, the speed of the run-in and the speed with which the ball comes out the hand.
Yeah.
But either way, it's very effective.
Absolutely. It seemed it's been much harder to work away those slower deliveries, especially when it's coming straight on a good line. The Hampshire batters finding it very tricky to time and work square of the wicket, which is where the gaps are.
Alex Griffiths is coming back into the... Oh no, it's not. It's Amanda Jade Wellington coming back into the attack to bowl her leg breaks. She's going to be bowling to the left-handed Freya Kemp.
Freya Kemp's done very well coming in at number 3 after a great start from Hampshire. The most important thing was to not lose wickets in a cluster. And Kemp's shown a great show with 21 to an 8. Here's
Wellington to Kemp, down the pitch driving, up to long off. Should just be a single, and is. Amanda Jade Wellington just taken 6 wickets in the campaign so far, at a cost of 32.6, economy of 7.25. Which we'll need to maintain that, because just another 49 runs required in 6 overs less 1 ball, so 35. It's not a given by any means, but with 9 wickets in hand, Hampshire have got to be warm favourites. Wellington then to Southby, pulls this rather ugly pull shot up to long on, but it brings her a single. 107 for 1.
Great show of patience from this Hampshire pair, understanding that it's still not that time yet to force boundaries, just nurdling and taking singles when they come. It's a great show of temperament.
Wellington to Kemp. Oh, and this takes her on the pad. A big appeal for LBW. Ball rather squirms its way down to short third. Umpire Rose Dovey signals a leg by.
She was very quickly uninterested in that one, wasn't she?
I haven't seen the replay. I mean, it looked a decent shout, but we're so far away it's very hard to pass judgment. Sometimes LBWs just look out, even if you're not absolutely bang in line. Here's Wellington into Southby, who goes for a big swing, misses, and the wicketkeeper Jess Hazel misses it as well. That will be 2 byes, I fancy. Looking at the umpire, yep, 2 byes it is. 108 for 1.
I was just wondering whether she might have got a little tickle on that one. However, byes given by the umpire. Jess Hazel gutted about letting that one go through there. Southby back on strike, she's on 38.
Well, Southby was across her stumps and a great swing of the bat, so it wasn't easy for Jess Hazel. Offside field just being reinforced. She's back on her stumps, cutting this down to backward point, but there's no run.
Coming up to 3 overs now for Wellington in her spell. She's only gone for 14. It's the joint best economy among the Somerset bowlers.
She comes again in bowls, tosses this one up. It's a full toss, driven down the ground, 4 runs. Well, spoke too soon there, you did, Charlie. That was not a very good ball, to put it mildly, and Southby just swung it away down the ground.
She had 1 ball left in that over.
414 for 1 with 5 overs remaining, so 8 runs and over exactly required by the Hampshire Hawks. And much though it grieves me to have to say this, it's hard to see how Somerset are going to prevent them scoring the 40 runs they need.
Well, they do have 2 overs left from Molly Robbins, who's bowled her first 2 for 10 runs, going at 5 runs and over. And she's got 7 wickets at an average of 22, including a 3 for 22 against Durham earlier this season. But it looks as if we've got a change in the bowling, and we've got Alex Griffiths coming on to the attack from the hotel end. 40 runs to win, and again these two batting beautifully together. Kemp on 22 and Southby approaching 50 on 42 off 39 deliveries. But it's the left-handed Kemp on strike. Griffiths bowls and it's whacked down the ground straight to long on. It's only taken a couple of bounces, a little bit of a fumble, but will just be 1 run. Chloe Skelton not having the best of days today. 3 overs for 23 and yet to really get moving in the Vitality Blast. Taking 2 wickets in the tournament so far. Southby on 42. She's on strike to Griffiths, who's over the wicket, right arm. In again, and it opens up the stance to whack it through the covers, but a little fumble and they get through for 1 run.
Sophie Luff, she just took her eye off the ball to see what the batsmen were up to. Sorry, batters were up to. It's and as a result, she didn't pick it up cleanly. I'm not sure that there was much of a run-out opportunity. She only had 1 stump to aim at, as it was.
So with that little misfield, Freya Kemp is back on strike. We've got a long on, long off, deep mid-wicket and a deep cover. As Griffiths right arm round to the left hand, and it's inside edge and the bat goes flying, and they do make it through for 1.
Touch of the Richard Pants.
However, Richard Pants' bat actually almost made it out of the ring. Freya Kemp's bat only goes as far as the next wicket.
Her bottom hand's been coming off, and now on that occasion both hands came off the bat.
1 run nonetheless. Looks like a 1 on the scorecard. No one can see the bat went flying. Griffiths begins her run up into Rihanna Southby, who works it away beautifully through the leg side, but it's out to deep mid-wicket. Will be 1 run. They call back for a 2, however Rihanna Southby gets rejected by Freya Kemp. It's been 4 singles so far in this over. Good bowling from Griffiths.
Yeah, good over so far.
36 from 26 needed.
Because they Hampshire have the advantage of a left-hand, right-hand combination here, so the field's got to change round every time they rotate the strike, and Alex Griffiths going around the wicket to the left-hander.
Griffith, number 25, back in again, and it's thumped down the ground. Bottom hand comes off the bat again. I'd be seriously worried if I was in the infield. Maybe could get caught with a flying bat from Freya Kemp. She's not gripping the bat too hard at the minute.
Do you think she's hurt her hands?
She must have done, mustn't she? Constantly taking the bat hand off the grip. That was 1 run, by the way. Hampshire 119 for 1. Southby's on strike within 1 shot of a 50, 144. Griffith's final ball of her over, clipped into the leg side, and will be another 1 run to finish a fine over from Griffiths, going for just 6. 120 for 1.
Let's hear it for the 50 partnership between Rihanna Southby and
There we are, 50 partnership. 22 of them to Rihanna Southby and 25 to Freya Kemp. The equation now 34 in 4 overs. So 34 in 24. Not a given. 2 batters confer.
You do get the sense that a couple wickets for Somerset, and all of a sudden it's a lot tighter than it seems. As a big gust of winds brings our papers off our tables.
Chloe Skelton.
Number 20, Chloe Skelton.
To bowl from the pavilion end. Rolling her off break, she's in and bowls, and Southby drives this down the ground in the air. Should be cut off. It is cut off. And they come back for 2 runs. Mid-on up inside, mid-off rather, up inside the fielding circle. But she didn't get all of that by any means. But she does pick up 2 runs, moves on to 47, 122 for 1, 32 more the Hampshire Hawks need. We're in the 17th over. Chloe Skelton bowls, tosses this one up. It's a full toss, and it's not fielded at mid-on.
Good running.
And they come back for 2 runs.
That's what these two have done incredibly well, and also Elise Perry and Rihanna Southby. Brilliant running between the wickets, always running that first one hard, meaning coming back from that 2 was getting a lot easier.
30 more Hampshire need. This is another full pitch delivery, driven down the ground to long on, just for a single, but that is Rihanna Southby's 50 from 45 deliveries with 5 fours. And a very well-judged innings. She's picked up the 1s and 2s, hit the bad balls to the boundary, and it is her 2nd 50 of this Vitality Blast.
2nd in 2 games as well, 64 coming against Blaze just last game, where they lost by 37 runs, but it was a great 50 then, and it's a great 50 today from Southby.
29 more are needed in 3.5 overs. 29 in 21. Skelton going around the wicket. This is cut away, or driven away off the back foot, in fact, through the offside. Nice shot. Only brings a single, as there is a sweeper out at extra cover. 126 for 1.
Just get the sense this game could turn at any time. It's not yet finished.
Skelton in bowls, tosses this one up, it's driven, and as a top edge, should just be the single, and is indeed. 127 for 1, 1 ball remaining in the 17th. The boundary's not coming, he says. Tempting Providence.
Wonder what we could see this ball. Freya Kemp on strike.
Yes, Skelton in the bowl. Reverse sweep, and she misses it. But the ball misses the stumps as well. So it's a dot ball to finish with. So 7 off the over. 127 for 1. 27 more are required in 3 overs. Hampshire still favourites, but they've been just falling a little bit short in the last couple of overs.
So this is 9 runs needed per over now, I believe, for the last 3. 27 needed to add on to the 127 for 1 they already have. And a wicket doesn't only bring a new batter in, but what it means is it really slows momentum up. And at this point in the game, a wicket could be absolutely pivotal. But Vukusic for her last ball over reverse spell coming on.
Big ask, isn't it?
Huge ask
for a youngster only in her 2nd game.
She begins her run up into Southby, who cuts away straight to point. They sneak through for a single. It's going to be tight at the bowler's end, but they get through safely.
Wasn't a very good return.
Wasn't a good throw in the end. Southby took a little bit of time to get moving, so it could have been tight if the throw was better. However, that is a single, which at this point in the game, singles in the ring could mean a lot. Come a few moments' time. Vukusic turns around just at the edge of the ring. Her run-up begins. Freya Kemp on strike. Right arm round the wicket. Vukusic bowls. And it's walloped into the leg side. There's a fielder out there and it drops and it's gone for 4. What a moment that was.
Alex Griffiths.
Freya Kemp off the back foot, whacking the ball out towards deep mid-wicket. A perfectly placed fielder puts it down and it goes over the rope.
I think that's the game. That's the game.
You get the sense a half chance is going to come, and that was more than a half chance. As we see the replay, you don't envy Alex Griffiths out there.
She got herself in the perfect position to take the catch. You've got to feel sorry for her.
Just a little stutter before dropping that catch. Vukusic in again, then bowls. A brilliant Yorker. They sneak through for a single. Oh, and you just get the sense of frustration from the Somerset players now. They knew that was the chance they needed to really shift this game. And even worse still, it was a 4 as well.
Yeah.
Southby on 52. Brilliant innings from her today, being an anchor for this side, as Hampshire are not far away from the target of 154. They're 133 for 1 as Vukusic bowls, and it's clubbed down the ground by Rihanna Southby, and it looks like it's going to go for 4, and it does so. A real strike of punishment there after a drop catch just 2 balls earlier. These Hampshire pair are really putting it back on Somerset. Somerset look like they're going to take their 8th loss of the season.
Oh dear, fateful over. Could have been so different if that catch had been taken.
It always happens after a drop catch. A brilliant shot there by Southby. 17 needed off 14 now. Vukusic into Southby, and it's well fielded. And it's a crucial dot ball as I get ready to make way for Kevin James after this delivery. A little bit of a discussion going on for the Somerset players here. They need a wicket, really. That's about it. That's all they need.
Failing that, a dot ball.
Vukusic, final ball of her spell. She's 1 for 31. It's been a great spell as she bowls, and it's clubbed into the offside by Rihanna Southby, and it's well fielded by Alex Griffiths. You get a little bit of chat from the crowd after her drop catch, but it's 138 for 1 as I make way for Kevin James for the final 2 overs of the game.
So 16 in 12 is the equation. Duckworth Lewis Stern says Hampshire ought to be at 135. Well, 3 runs ahead of that. And it, well, looks like being not a case of close but no cigar for the Somerset women, but you never know. A wicket now could change the complexion of this game. It's going to be Amanda Jade Wellington to bowl the penultimate over from the pavilion end.
For Somerset, number 10, Amanda Jade Wellington.
She's bowling to Rihanna Southby, who's on 57. Good partnership this.
Good
Here's
game
Wellington. In bowls to Southby. Bowler! Southby going for a swing across the line, missed it, and the ball clattering into middle and leg stumps. And that gives Somerset real hope. It's 138 for 2. Rihanna Southby gone bowled by Amanda Jade Wellington for 57, 138 for 2. And, well, maybe Somerset do have a chance.
68-run partnership in 9 overs between Southby and Kemp, and if Kemp had been taken in the last over, you'd have 2 new batters at the crease. And in a tight situation like that, that's not exactly what you want, but Kemp is still there.
Well, I did say at the start, Somerset needed to take their catches. And
is the Hawks captain, number 1, Georgia Adams.
The only one they've had to take, sadly, they've dropped. And it may yet prove fateful, but we will see. Georgia Adams, though vastly experienced, just the sort of cricketer you want coming in a situation like this.
And we've also been joined on all frequencies on BBC Radio Surrey as well. Start of a sport show. This is a cracking game with 16 needed off 11 balls, Hampshire. Kevin James and Anthony Gibson with you. We're also on Sports Extra 3, we're also on the live picture feed on the Hampshire Cricket website, Somerset Cricket website as well.
So it's Amanda Jade Wellington, 11 balls remaining, 16 runs required. Wellington to Georgia Adams, who will pick up a single. That's all it will be, out into the offside. 139 for 2. It means that Freya Kemp, though, is on strike. The field changes round for the left-hander. Kemp 31 from 25, but should have been caught by Alex Griffiths on the deep mid-wicket, cow corner boundary, really. She was perfectly positioned. She got in perfect position to take the catch, and down it went. We've all been there. Well, I shouldn't think Kevin James has, but I certainly have.
A few times, yeah, I have as well. It makes it worse when you drop the catch and the ball just
goes over
goes over the boundary at the same time. That's horrible.
Wellington then to Kemp, who drives, but straight. There should be a run out. Oh dear. Oh, that really wasn't very good. She threw to the non-striker's end. It wasn't a very good throw, and Amanda Jade Wellington couldn't take it. So a single was secured. 140 for 2, 14 more needed. Wellington in to Adams, who pushes this. Oh no! Oh no! And Sophie Luff dives over the top of it at extra cover, and they take 2 runs. The fielding's letting them down, Somerset, I'm afraid.
That's 11 runs to tie from here. It's still more than run a ball.
Yep.
And actually, this is quite accurate bowling, this.
Well, she's very experienced, and she's a shrewd operator. Oh, and there's a swing and a miss from Georgia Adams, trying to swing that away through the onside. She went outside the off stump in order to fetch it through mid-wicket, and missed it. Sun comes out.
It's a quicker ball, that.
Is it going to shine on the Somerset women or the Hampshire Hawks women? We will see. Wellington, last ball of the penultimate over, and that should just be a single out to long on. The throw comes in on the back. Again, it's a poor throw. And yes, well might you apologise. It's 143 for 2. So, 11 needed off the last over. I think Somerset are almost favourites here.
Well, and Kemp's away from the strike as well. She's the one with a big hit, which in this last over you would think there's at least a boundary needed. But it's Georgia Adams on strike. Vastly experienced Georgia Adams, but doesn't possess the big shots that Freya Kemp does. So Freya Kemp will be at the non-striker's end for these final 6 balls. 11 to win, 10 to tie. Hampshire 2 games ago beating Somerset by a small margin of just 5 runs. And we're going pretty close, very close here once more. Somerset looking for their first win in this year's competition. Rooted to the bottom of the table. Hampshire in 4th, outside of the 3 qualification places. They could do with a win to start giving themselves a chance of finals day later on this July. So here's the last over by Alex Griffiths, the right-arm medium pacer. She's brought mid-off up to try and save the single. There are fielders, 2 of them, 3 of them out on the leg side, just the 1 out on the offside. And here we go then, the final 6 balls of the game, 143 for 2 as in comes Griffiths, bowls, Adams works it out on the onside. There'll only be 1 as it goes to deep mid-on, but it does bring Freya Kemp on strike. And there are 5 balls left in this game, and 10 are needed for the outright victory. 2 a ball.
Who's your money on?
If Kemp gets hold of one, Hampshire, I think something needs to happen in the next 2 balls. Ideally, Kemp needs to strike a boundary just to take a bit of pressure off. Now,
what Somerset don't need to do is bowl any wides.
No, not right now. Griffiths is into her 4th over, none for 26 she has. Elise Perry earlier made 40, put on 70 for the first wicket with Rihanna Southby. She was out in the 10th over, Southby out in the 19th with 57, her 2nd half century of the competition, to match her 60 against Chesterfield. Right, she's around the wicket to Kemp. Kemp strikes that in the air, and it's going for 6! Whoa, that's the big shot that needed, right at the right moment.
Oh, what heartache. Oh, dear.
That's Freya Kemp. She is a handful.
And she shouldn't be there. She should have been caught.
Well, what a timely boundary that was. What a timely maximum that was. 150 for 2. 4 balls left in the game. And Hampshire now just need 4 to win. 3 to tie. The odds have massively shifted towards the Hampshire victory. She's around the wicket again. Bowls, Kemp drives. That's a good delivery. That's going to be 1 up to deep mid-off. They're going to come back for 2. Georgia Adams is going to risk it, and she's home. Oh, just by the skin of her teeth. Running to the danger end. That's good running.
Yeah, it is good running.
There's
running on the throw, it's Chloe Skelton with the throw. She hasn't got the strongest arm in the Somerset team. And it wasn't a bad throw, but just didn't reach Alex Griffiths quickly enough.
3 balls remain. Hampshire need now just 2, and the field has to get a little closer, and it does with cover coming into the ring. 1 will tie it, 152 for 2. Here's Griffiths into Freya Kemp. Bowls, and Kemp drives down the ground. It's not going for 4, but it should go for 2. And those will be the 2 runs that Hampshire need for a victory. And this record domestic women's T20 crowd rises to their feet and celebrates a Hampshire victory. Freya Kemp finishes on 42 not out. Hampshire win this game by 8 wickets with 2 balls to spare. And it's been a thrilling game. The 153 for 8 that Somerset made was always going to be a testing target, Anthony Gibson. And in the end, it was Freya Kemp that got him over the line.
More heartbreak, and it was the fielding in the final analysis that let Somerset down in those last 3 or 4 overs, dropping Freya Kemp and missing 1 or 2 opportunities for run-outs, and so runs conceded from poor fielding. But well, so close, so near, and yet so far it's another defeat for the Somerset women. But every game they play, they're getting closer. and they put a decent score on the board this time, and I think all of them, Olivia Barnes 2 overs for 20, Molly Robbins 2 overs for 10, Chloe Skelton 4 overs for 30, Erin Vukuzic 1 for 32 in 4 overs, and that one wicket, that of Elise Perry. Amanda Jade Wellington, brilliant again, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 23, and Alex Griffiths, who was given the daunting task of bowling that last over with 11 runs needed. She in the end went for 3.4 overs, 36. Well, another defeat for Somerset women, but a good performance, and many congratulations to the Hampshire Hawks women.
Yeah, still searching for their first win. Our Somerset, it's a record, just to repeat actually, a record women's domestic crowd here for a T20 at this venue of nearly 4,800, and they have witnessed a really exciting game, and that bodes well for the second match on today's feature, which is at 3 o'clock, when Hampshire's men take on Somerset, and we'll have live commentary for you of that one on the BBC Sport website, also on all frequencies BBC Radio Silent, and also on the live picture feed on the Hampshire Cricket website, and also on the Somerset Cricket website. So thank you very much for listening and for watching. Now, if you've been listening on Sports Extra 3, then you only need to wait a little while, because coming up at 3 o'clock, they will take you to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix with Harry Benjamin. You'll be able to catch all the action from up there near Northampton, and that will be coming up at 3 o'clock on Sports Extra 3. For now, we'll take a break, and we'll be back just before 3 o'clock with the men's game here at the Utilita Bowl.